So this is 30 Days to Save Science City. And in a lot of ways, this is a sandbox game for you guys. I have built a situation. It is full of pieces and complications and different ways that you can go. I have no idea what you guys are going to do. Literally no clue. You're going to have to figure out what you want to do, and that's going to involve you guys probably starting by asking questions and then carrying out operations and probably flipping back to more information gathering and doing things and coming up with a plan for how you want to carry this out. We are using Fate Core. Again, there are lots of flavors of Fate Core, so one of the things you may find is I'm not handling Fate things maybe a little bit like you're familiar with. If that happens and we're in a scene, feel free to stop me when the scene's done to say, how are you handling this, or what are you doing with this, or ask questions about that. Just I want to make sure you guys know that we play a little bit differently. A lot of people do things in different ways with Fate, so I want to make sure that everybody's sort of on the same page. We're using Roll20. Primarily, what I've got here is the map page, just to show the outline of Science City. We can write on that if we add aspects to or so on. If we need to go to a fight map, I can pull up a tab and we can set that up real quick, or we can do it abstract depending on how the situation goes. So that's the basics of it. A lot of you are familiar with Roll20, so I don't think that should be too big a problem. One thing I do want to talk about just briefly, and it's something that I picked up when I ran at Gen Con this last time. I ran for Games on Demand. And one of the techniques that they talk about is something called the X card. The X card is essentially the idea that if we hit something that you guys are uncomfortable with, a topic, an idea, behavior, you're welcome to send me a note essentially in the comments. You can either whisper that to me or say, X card. If we get to that material, we'll just move past it. I know that sounds a little odd, but I actually want to give a concrete example of that. I have a group that I've been playing with for years, and we had yet another fantasy session, and afterwards one of my players, a guy I've played with for 10, 15 years, he came to me and he said, well, if you have any more spiders in the game, I'm going to freak out. He literally, I didn't realize, he was severely phobic about spiders, and we had gone through a sequence of that, and it had really actually creeped him out seriously. And it was one of those things where he hadn't felt comfortable saying it at the table, to change it out, and I had to figure that out. And it was somebody I'd played with for a long time. So I just want to make it clear that if there is something that is bugging you, feel free to say. If we need to stop, we can and talk about something, we can do that. Just want to put that out on the table. The game is a superhero game, but it's set in this odd world that a group of RPG geeks built. It is the 1930s in a world which has suffered from alien invasions, which has super beings. There are superheroes, super beings, people have superpowers, and then there are mutants. Mutants have superpowers as well, but they also have visible signs on them, visible afflictions. So think pre-World War II, but with the kind of a gloss of a World of Tomorrow dirigibles, and they've got radio sort of at going FM and AM. They've got transatlantic television. They've got two-way wristwatch radios for the police. Sort of that mix of Dick Tracy and other kinds of just slightly ahead tropes. Mm-hmm. So, you guys, do you want me to give the actual sort of briefing of what your objectives are first, or do you want to pick your characters first?
I'd like to hear the briefing. Like, what's the situation that we're in?
All right. So I'm going to give you the briefing. This is a very quick rundown of what's going on. So all of you are potential members for the major supergroup which is currently known as the Transatlantic League. It's a group that's mentioned in the timeline as sort of the premier supergroup. You guys have not been accepted as members yet, but it's sort of the equivalent of the High Justice League for the world. So this is something you want to join. You've been accepted preliminarily, but you'll be brought in and told that they're going to give you a mission that is essentially a little bit off the books in some ways. Before you can join the League, they have something that needs to be done. And here's the deal. Lady Paladin, one of the members of the Transatlantic League, will come in and give you this briefing. She has a rudimentary version of PowerPoint, probably on an overhead projector, you know, with clear laminate things that are done there. She will tell you 2 years ago, the League received a message from a supervillain by the name of the Iron Gale. And the Iron Gale gave a simple message to the Transatlantic League, and that was that they had until the 15th of August to clean up Monaco. At that point, Monaco was a kind of hive of scum and villainy. A lot of fallout from various European espionage groups, as well as the recent Spanish Civil War, and a sort of a neutral ground where a lot of supervillains and super beings had assembled. The Transatlantic League ignored the message from the Iron Gale, and on August 15th, an earthquake struck the city. And tens of thousands were killed, destroyed most of the national infrastructure, and devastated the region. The Transatlantic League is still cleaning up from that. A few days ago, the Transatlantic League received another message from the Iron Gale. They've been trying to find the supervillain for a number of years, but they haven't had any success. The Iron Gale gave them another ultimatum. They had until October 31st to clean up Science City. Science City is an American city, offshore. It's a major port, shipping locale, industry, important trade. It's a city was originally founded on ideas of progress and technology, but has certainly fallen in recent years. It's pretty much notable for a level of corruption and being run by gangsters. Transatlantic League is caught in a difficult position. On the one hand, they don't want to be seen as giving in to supervillain terrorism. They don't want to be seen as abiding at the whim of the Iron Gale. On the other hand, they can't take the chance that the Iron Gale will strike. So because you are not yet members of the Transatlantic League, they want to send you in to clean up the city.
Okay.
And there'll be a kind of a pause, and she'll say, we will offer you resources, we will offer you assistance. You can decide whether you want to go in above board, whether you want to go in quietly, however you wish to do that. That is up to you. It is your decision on how you wish to handle that. Obviously, brutal murders are out of the question, but you will have your resources and powers at your disposal to figure out what the situation is and how you can best do it. We're hoping that a token gesture, that some work to clean the city up, that some progress may curtail the Iron Gale's whatever sort of means of destruction she has to bring to bear. Questions?
Yeah. Is this West Coast or East Coast City?
East Coast City. So imagine it being that sort of uncertain zone that Gotham is in geography of the DC universe, where it's somewhere between New York and Boston, that kind of New England East Coast area.
And this actually appears to be an island city of some sort.
Absolutely, yes. You'll see that from the map that there are, at this point, 3 major bridges that cross over to the city. They're currently in the process of working to build a couple of tunnels under the bay out. They also have dirigibles. The city itself has a pretty sophisticated mass transit system involving streetcars and elevated trains. Well, we'll come back to questions. So what I want to do is, with that in mind, with that set of objectives in mind, and given the 8 characters that are up there, I want people to pick who they are, and we'll kind of look at that. And I think to go ahead and do this, I'm going to have everybody roll, if you would, using Roll20, and just roll a d20. And we'll actually do picks from high to low on that, if that's okay with you guys.
That's good.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
got a roll off here.
Yep. Right away, roll off.
Ha ha ha!
Did I roll? Did it show? No.
There you go. Second attempt. Okay. All right. And Richard, I don't think we got your roll yet.
No, it's /roll.
/roll d20.
D20 or 1d20?
Either way, it'll. I think it'll. We'll do it either way.
It doesn't seem to be rolling for me.
Hmm.
But it did roll. I can roll the fate dice.
Okay.
That is weird.
Here, we'll roll the d20 for you, so if at least you can roll the fate dice. Okay. So it looks like that the first pick is going to be Michael.
Okay. I'll be the scientist.
Okay. So scientist is taken. And then I believe second pick is William.
Let me go for the speedster.
Okay, speedster. So scientist, speedster, and then the 11. The next one is Richard.
The shadow.
Shadow. And then Chris.
I'll take the blaster.
Blaster. And finally Suresh.
I can't seem to open Brick's sheet. Is it meant to be empty? Because I didn't get to look at it.
Let me see here if it.
Yeah, it didn't have anything in it, it seemed like.
Under the character sheets, it doesn't show anything when you open.
Yeah, when you open it, it's just empty.
Okay.
Everything's on the second tab character sheet if you didn't try that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get that.
I only have bio and info. Oh well.
Oh,
Yeah, I just did the bio.
you're not seeing a second.
Nope.
Okay. Why is it not showing? That is very strange. I don't know why it wouldn't be showing.
Never mind. I think I'll just pick another one then. Who have been taken already?
So scientist, speedster, shadow, and blaster. Problem not being able to see the actual character sheet on the second tab.
Mine's showing. I got
I
mine.
can.
Yeah, I only had that problem with the brick.
Okay.
Yep, only with Brick.
Let me go back to the brick and let me edit it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I see it. There we go. There's a second tab adjustment. So scientist, speedster, shadow, and blaster.
Hmm.
Yes, feel free to rename. Dr. X, scientist. So what's everybody going to rename their character? We've got Dr. X for the scientist.
I may come up with something better.
Okay, no, fair enough.
I think I'll take the doppelganger.
Okay, awesome.
Oh man.
Where do you want us to put a rename on the character sheet, or?
Yeah, if you go on the character sheet, if you just edit that on the.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
About the Phantom.
Okay.
Generic, but.
That guy. Okay. And Dr. X, Shadow.
So let me ask you a question. I see you guys have your names under your pictures there. How do you get that?
Oh, if you go over to Hangout Toolbox, over off to the side, click on that, and the first tab, essentially with the little circle with the head in it, is called Lower Third, and that allows you to put a name and a subtitle and turn that on. It should allow you to add that in. Shockwave.
I'm sorry, which tab?
Oh, so if you go over off onto the left-hand side, the Hangout Toolbox is one of the apps.
Right.
You hit that, and then the first tab at the top under Hangout Toolbox is called Lower Third.
Yeah.
Right. So, the way I've done this when I do operational games like this, games where the players are put in a situation, we'll typically do a set of preliminary questions. If you guys want to ask some general information, then I'm going to ask you about what you want in terms of resources. You guys may wish to talk amongst yourselves about how you want to approach the situation, and it would probably seem to be some debate about that. And what I'm going to do is, when I do the question and answer thing, is essentially I'm going to go to a person, you get a question, I'll give you an answer to it. If it's something that requires research, I might actually have you make a roll at that point. I'm going to do a gumshoe style approach, which is if you ask a question, I'm going to give you some basic information. A roll will be used to generate essentially additional information or further details on that. And essentially, we'll do kind of a once around on sort of the starting questions, details that you want to have before you go in, that kind of thing. And we'll do that once, and we'll see where we're at. So, Chris, I'm actually going to start with you. What's your starting question?
Have any of us been to Science City before?
That's entirely up to you guys. I'm going to assume that if you have contact skill of at least +1, then we'll assume that you were picked because of your experience with Science City. So, to answer your question, then, if you have contacts of at least one, then yes.
Okay, and I do.
Mike?
Do we know who the big... Right, our task is to go clean up Science City. Are there any big super criminal players making headlines in Science City right now?
Okay, do you have contacts as skill, right?
I don't have contacts.
Okay, well, let's just have you make a standard fate roll. I'm going to give you some basic information, and we'll see what else you pull up here.
Okay.
Okay. So you do know that there are actually each one of the neighborhoods is split off on this map because there's probably one power group that has sort of major influence there. Two of the groups that have made headlines that are sort of big is working in the Crucible area is a group called the Throck Syndicate. And they're very classic, old-school mob.
Okay.
Other group that's made headlines in recent years, sort of above board, is a more recent, high-scale organized crime group that's calling itself Oriflamme. And it actually operates up in Radium Heights. Throck is very much old-school kneecapping. Oriflamme seems to be much smarter, much more careful.
They sound French. They probably have mimes.
Yes, the mimes and sort of European imports, a better chocolate, that kind of thing. All right, Richard, what's your question? And if you want to expand or follow up on another person's question, feel free to do that.
So there's two major, let's say, gangs.
To answer, well, let me clarify. There are more than that, but the two that make headlines are those two. So what's your question?
Do we have any scientists in the area that might be friendly to us, but not necessarily, goody-goody?
You will be given a chance to choose that as one of your resources. You guys will be given essentially going to be able to prioritize four things: agents, contacts, resources, and the last thing on my list here, cover. So one of the things you guys will be able to do is ask that you have that you prioritize contacts, and then you could say that the contacts from the science group, that kind of thing. Does that seem reasonable?
Yep.
Okay. Suresh?
Let me think. What is the general outlook of the community of the city towards superheroes or superpowered beings?
Well, one of the things is that they haven't had a local superhero for several years. There was a local superhero group led by a guy named the Watchman. He operated here till about 5 years ago when he vanished. He and his whole team of superheroes just absolutely vanished. No one's heard from them in about 5 years. And no one's taken up the mantle of fighting crime in a superhero way here because it is such a dangerous city. So they're not familiar with having supers around. They have a history of having some positive reaction to them. So generally, at the very least, there's no immediate negative reaction to superheroes. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, sure. I guess.
Okay.
But what do they feel about the guy just up and leaving? Do they have like any hard feelings or anything?
No, there's sort of he was a long-term important crime fighter in the city, so his vanishing hasn't uh, left any bad feelings, especially because he hasn't reappeared elsewhere, so people suspect that he got killed off.
Oh, okay.
William?
This almost seems like a lame question, but
Sure.
are we in our initial information that we got? Do we know what the Iron Guild looks like? His former MO last time he struck.
The Iron Gale is probably the major supervillain currently facing the Transatlantic League. Essentially, effectively, the Doctor Doom. She's a mysterious figure. When she struck at Monaco, she used a earthquake machine of some kind. They still don't know exactly how she did it, but was able to create seismic effects in the city. They don't believe that she's in Science City, and in fact, the efforts of the Transatlantic League, while you guys are doing this, will be directed to trying to track her down.
Okay.
Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want to discuss plans, or should I do another round of questions?
And she's considered a supervillain, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's saying, hey, clean up the cities. Is she some, I don't know, some kind of aberrant type thing, honorable, but
They don't know. She
Or
killed.
is she trying to eliminate the competition?
It may be a possibility as well. Transatlantic League can't take the chance.
And when she says clean up, she's meaning clean up the crime or anything like environmental issues?
They're
just is
given
vague?
the 1930s. They're taking it the pretty literal. Clean up the crime.
Okay.
Well, I'll do another question. We'll come back to you, Mr. Nolan. Chris, do you have another question?
These two gangs that you mentioned before, have they been fighting each other over territory and all that business?
Why don't you make a contacts roll for me?
Okay.
They have not directly butted heads, primarily because there are other areas between them.
Okay.
What you do know is that Oriflamme has been working to expand out of Radium Heights, which is a very upscale area. There are groups operating in Highmark and Four Points that they've been clashing with. Throck Syndicate is actually more openly kind of trying to push back against groups that are pushing from the north, from Tomorrow Way. And that's a whole nother can of worms there. What you will kind of looking through the reports and so on, it does look like there's at least some criminal activity of organized nature there in Tomorrow Way. So not directly fighting each other, but it does look like each of these groups is certainly clashing with their neighbors.
Got it.
Mike?
What are the stakes for these groups? What is it in in Science City that is the big prize that people might be after?
So probably the most important sort of sector of the city is the ports, and they have essentially the best port setup along the East Coast right now, and over in the Crucible in particular, they've got a lot of shipbuilding industry. There's a lot of money coming in that way. There's a lot of nervousness about the next 10 years, and so you've got a lot more nations, both the United States and foreign, doing orders for shipbuilding. And in fact, that's probably the biggest thing that's going on right now is a lot of money flooding in on that. A lot more industrial construction, dry docks and areas that wouldn't have been given over to ship construction are currently being dedicated to that. So armaments, shipbuilding, all of that, very important. That's the big stake. Richard?
Where's our base, our HQ?
You will have the ability to choose where you want to set up. They can essentially provide you with a safe house, and depending on how you prioritize resources, you'll have more or less equipment at your disposal. So you can choose if you want to have something as a more open base, saying that you guys are a new superhero team, or if you want to have something that's more undercover for you guys going in. It's going to be up to you. Does that seem reasonable?
That's good.
Okay. Suresh?
Has there been any recent headlines that could have triggered this clean up the city job we are supposed to do?
Oh, interesting. Make a contacts roll for me.
Yeah, true. My contacts is
one of the things that's striking is that going through the papers and talking to people and looking over is it does seem like there has been a spike in crime. That there have been more gangland slayings. It seemed like there have been more open clashes. The sense that you have is that the city itself is kind of a powder keg. That right now things are kind of at a tipping point, and it could be that might break out into more open, destructive warfare. That's one thing. The other thing is that there are definitely reports of a little more suggestion of some superhumans in the city, not superheroes, but in fact
Oh,
I think we lost you, Francis.
I think he seized up.
Yeah, happens.
yep, looks that way.
He's still talking.
Is he?
He's still talking. He's still talking. All right, so who wants to take over the game?
Right.
All right. Well, we can plan in the meantime.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I think one of the things that we need to discuss is, do we want to be in the open, or do we want to be sneaky?
My guy would say sneaky, but
And maybe we could do it half and half, because I don't see Johnny Speed being the sneak around type.
Right. Yeah. I mean, some of these characters are not subtle.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Maybe if we have a hero presence that draws attention away from those that's sneaking around doing some stuff behind closed doors.
No, that's actually a thought. So we could be a 4-hero team publicly, or a 3-hero team publicly, and then have a couple of.
well, that was annoying. Sorry, my internet. My
We
internet
just-
decided to just stop randomly.
We carried on without you.
Okay. All right.
We were actually talking about if we should be open, like a public team or not, and we're considering the concept of like actually having 3 of us maybe be there as the new watchman or something, and then have actually a couple of other members be covert.
Agents.
Easily done. Suresh, are you back too?
Pardon?
And you're back too. I'm sorry. I think I had been I got cut off when I was talking with you.
Yeah, you got cut off when you're saying something about super people which are not heroes or something like that.
Yes. So let me answer that, and then let me come back to your discussion. The supervillain group is a group known as the Steel Hand. They essentially are an East Coast smash and grab supervillain robbery team that have been seen a couple of times in Science City.
I'm sorry, can you repeat their name?
The Steel Hand.
I will be
So
right.
basically, it's gang-related violence and the Steel Hand,
Right.
which are the headlines.
William, let me get your question, and then let's come back to this suggestion that you guys made about how you want to approach things, and we'll get you to choose your order of priorities for things.
I don't think you covered it, and I don't know if it was just implied, but I wanted to clarify if we know the gangs and the mobs are there, but is there also, almost like Gotham, is there the dirty cops, the government? Do we know of who in the political forces are involved, or anyone has their hands dirty?
Sure. Make either a lore or a contacts roll.
Okay. 40F.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, they're pretty corrupt. The police department is pretty corrupt. What it is there was a battle about 10 years ago over sort of local political authority versus police authority, and it's resulted in the police very much aiming for autonomy, and as a result, a lot of corruption across the board. The police commissioner is pretty notorious for that, and local cops are kind of considered universally on the take. It's considered just the way things are done. With your role there, you will have heard that there may be at least one squad within the police department, sort of a quiet network of more dedicated police officers who are actually attempting to fight back against that corruption. And you can kind of get a lead on that. So let me ask you guys this. You've got four things to prioritize from the highest to the lowest. You guys can have agents, meaning boots on the ground, people that will be sent in to assist you. You can have resources, essentially money, supplies, tech, that kind of thing. You can have cover, meaning that they will give you alternate identities, background, that kind of thing that you guys can make up as you wish on the fly. Or contacts, meaning that they've got people who are locals who are, at your disposal. These are all resources that will get used up throughout the course of the game, and essentially, what do you guys think there, and how you want to order those?
I would probably go with contacts first, just because we need more info.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Contacts. Have like stress boxes or something.
Exactly. So imagine that we'll put contacts as essentially a +4. It has essentially 4 stress boxes that can get used up. what would you want as the next one?
I'm sorry, can you repeat? There's 4 of them, right?
Yep.
Contacts?
Agents, resources, cover, and contacts.
I'd go with. My inclination is to go with resources.
Yeah.
Having
Yeah.
Stuff,
Yeah, I'm
stuff
going with
and money.
Because if we do have to buy out some officials, I'd prefer not to.
All right.
Yeah, or we need a thing. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So resources, putting that at that high end, also implies that you guys can have essentially a well-equipped base that you guys can get into and out of quietly. That it has some entrances. Essentially, we'll assume it's a old transatlantic league safe house that's deep undercover, so you have access to that. So imagine that you have a base. What next then between agents and cover?
I would say, I mean, cover might be the last because everybody was discussing that some.
Yeah, they all wanted to go loud.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's put cover last.
Yeah.
All right. We'll put agents and then cover. So agents means that you guys have at your disposal essentially probably a good dozen trained secondary helpers for the league. That means technician, staff, private eyes, that kind of thing that will have gone in ahead of you guys. And then cover means that you guys can use that if you need to pull up an identity, go in secret ID or set up a backstory for yourselves. So I hear that we're going to be split then between a public face and a private face. Who is the public face and who is the private face in this then?
I'm definitely in the public.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think it'd be 2.
Dr. X will be public.
Dr. X, public. And Johnny Summer.
I realized that was supposed to be the hero name, so Johnny Speed.
Oh, Johnny Speed. Okay. So
Phantom will be private.
Phantom private. Okay. And I assume that guy is also going to be private.
Well, I'm a shapeshifter, so I can essentially play both if I want to.
Oh, good point. All right. And Shockwave, I assume.
Is the public team, yeah.
Okay. Before we go any further, I should check and see, does anyone have any questions about your powers or abilities or anything on your sheet?
Let me see.
Mine seems pretty straightforward.
How about the aspects?
Beg your pardon?
We only have 3 aspects, right?
Yes. So that's a good point. You guys have essentially the room for 2 more aspects that you can come up with on the fly. When you do that, we'll use the atomic robo approach. You can come up with an aspect, and you'll get a fate point when you do that.
Oh, okay.
On mine, pretty straightforward, but the drawback,
Mm-hmm.
burnout. How is that meant?
So imagine that the drawbacks in your character sheet essentially are a trouble aspect for your power. So if you want to invoke that to get yourself a fate point at the end of the scene, you can do that.
Okay.
Any other questions about that? Oh, go on.
Oh, I was just saying I'm reading a little bit of Beast in my.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's riffed off of a build that somebody did for Beast off of the Fate course thread. All right, so we're going to kind of move you guys forward, and we'll assume that you guys are, as of October 1st, you are in Science City. It is October on an East Coast city, rain coming in, the cool winds. It is a grimy city. It is very much the opening to Batman, the animated series, with the police in their uniforms and the dirigibles over the city. Definitely, as you guys flew in, you would have seen just the vast numbers of ships in the shipyards and the docks and ports. It is a major maritime center here. But you also would have seen parts of the city that clearly are not in nearly as good a shape as others. For example, 4 Points is in the middle there, and it does not look like it's in great shape. The Crucible has that look of worn down industrial. And in fact, kind of as you go from east to west on that map, you definitely have the sense that it goes from the poorer parts of town to the wealthier parts of town, with the Lock, Highmark, and Radium Park being certainly the wealthiest. Let me ask you guys this: which part of town do you want to have your base in?
Is that a big park or in 4 Points?
So in 4 Points, that is a major park. That whole area up there is a park, and then there is a reservoir there in the center.
Could we almost go buried in the reservoir?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think being centrally located might be a good idea.
Okay, so we will say the base is in the reservoir.
Robinson Park?
Robinson Park. Well, that's all from the old thing, so the text is to be ignored for the purposes of this. Because I couldn't scratch all of that out. Yeah, you will see this is a DC Heroes map of Gotham. So we will assume that will give you then access to transit lines that go across. It'll give you access to the waterways that run through the city. It's decently set up. The base has vehicles in it. In terms of monitoring devices, probably nothing like that, since that's not the tech of the time, except if you want to plant bugs or something of that sort. Television is present, but it's still very, very high-end, and it's a black and white, static-y appearing. So let's assume you guys get set up there. Agents are in place. Bank account is positioned. What is your sort of first order of business? Do you want some more investigation here? Do you want to go ahead and set yourselves up to present yourself as a superhero team right away? How do you want to approach this?
I think some of the... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say some of the discussion was have the public face get out there, so it draws attention from the people in the background. So it might be good to set us up, announce our presence.
Okay.
That would also probably draw some fire from various targets.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's why I wanted to have a
smack
public.
up.
Okay. So who wants to be the person who takes the lead on kind of organizing that? So imagine that this will be, if you want to set this up, you're attempting to either do kind of a deceive or a provoke, or even empathy kind of role, kind of building a positive aspect for yourself, or trying to draw out things. So who wants to take the lead on that?
I will.
Okay.
We'll do it as a
All right.
as a provoke on the cowardly, superstitious criminals.
Okay. So describe to me what you guys what you're calling yourselves, and how you want to present yourself, and the team of four that you have.
Mhm.
What about the new Watchmen? Since that's a ties to the city, that might raise some alarms.
Okay. Does that seem reasonable to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. New Watchman. All right. So why don't you go ahead and Chris, why don't you make that provoke roll for me?
Okay. Because I'm just trying to get the attention of assorted criminals. Oh, well, that could be worse.
All right. So we'll imagine that in the first couple of days, you guys will go and present yourselves as the new Watchman. You'll do kind of a showy arrival, announcing your presence there. That guy, what's your superhero cover identity that you're using for yourself?
Let me see. I will. Oh, a different name, huh?
Yeah.
I'll just call myself Jack.
Okay. Which actually is ironic, given that one of the previous Watchmen was a guy named Jack Frost. So that actually fits there. So, are you, Chris? Are you going to kind of present yourself as the leader of the team? And you're Shockwave, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. And you give a kind of a rousing speech about your trying to draw out the criminal element and how they should be afraid. Anything else you want to do for the spin on that?
I definitely do not want to say anything about the Iron Gale or any of that business.
Okay. What's the aspect you want to create? How do you want to describe that?
There's a new sheriff in town.
Oh, okay. I like that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find my text.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing in my mind some sort of public, public speech in the town, in Times Square, where, you tell the troublemakers to get out of town or be warned, and we're all doing superhero stunts, and I'm in my bestial aspect, taking a literal bite out of crime.
All right.
Taking a bite out of a phone book or something like that.
Okay, so we started with you, Chris, there on that sort of operations. The first thing you guys do is establish yourself as sort of as a new sheriff in town. I'm going to do a little bit like we did before, where I'm going to kind of move in a once around and ask sort of what you're spearheading or what you're doing or how you want to shift things in that same order that I did before. So I'm going to come to you, Dr. X. You guys have established that early on. What is your next step here?
I think I would certainly be spearheading investigation. So I'd be having the agents go out to the different districts in the city to pound the ground and give me reports back on what's going on. And also, I picture myself sitting at some sort of giant World War II era Memex machine, scanning the news reports and everything for crime patterns, and doing some the pre-internet equivalent of Google searches to see what's going on. So I'd be doing the investigation type stuff.
Why don't you make an investigation roll for me?
I shall investigate.
Oh, very nice.
Investigate like a boss.
Absolutely. All right, Dr. X. What are the 3 questions you want answered?
Let's start with who is the biggest threat?
Who is the biggest threat? That's a very interesting question.
Not to us, but to the welfare of Science City.
To the welfare of Science City. When you talk to people about that, when you kind of get the word on the street, it surprises you because it keeps coming back to not either one of the sort of the criminal organizations, but actually a corporation. It comes back to Zinkman Industries.
Oh.
Zinkman
Okay.
Industries. I've got caps lock on, so it sounds like I'm sort of shouting. So Zinkman Industries operates out of Tomorrow's Way. They've got an almost sort of Disneyland-like complex there of factories and research facilities and so on, and sort of corporate town there. And they've got a heavy security force. They have their fingers in every pot, and the CEO is a woman named Zolana Zinkman. And she is regarded with sort of fear and mistrust by lots of people. There are rumors that she crossed swords with the Watchmen years ago several times, but nothing was ever proved. When you check court records, there's lots of cases brought against Zinkman that vanish. Witnesses disappear. People change their statement. Accidents occur. All of that. So that's the general feeling about who is the most dangerous. What's your second question?
Well, and besides that, because she has an alliterative name, that is proof of guilt, right?
Exactly.
Okay, the second question is, oh, let me think. Gosh,
Sure.
I have to think of 3 questions. Oh my goodness.
You rolled so well, you've got to do all 3.
What? Where can we do the most good?
Where can you do the most good? It seems to you that define good for me. Easy to clean up, or what?
No, I guess what action would create the biggest benefit for Science City? Or does that amount to who is the biggest threat? It just asked a different way.
Yeah. What benefit in terms of you guys looking good, or
No, I think I'm being very altruistic here, so I'm not worried how we come out looking.
Maybe a reduction of crime.
Yeah, what would do the most to reduce crime?
probably the group that is causing sort of the most chaos actually is one caught in the middle, and that is the essentially the Sundown Boys that are there in Gray Cross. They're a loose network of criminals that work for hire for other groups. They get around a lot, but they're kind of loosely organized, which means that nobody's really been able to roll them up. But they are the most sort of loose cannon, and probably if you kind of go back through to your analytical assessment of sort of sheer damage that's caused, they're the top ones. So busting them up might be actually the best thing for the city right now in terms of crime reduction.
Okay, and I guess the third question would be, where could we find unexpected allies?
Where could you find unexpected allies? That is a very good question.
I'll change it if it's too good.
No, I mentioned before the Mutant Underground.
Okay.
Pulling more on that thread, you'll see that in fact that comes out of a place called Stravinsky House. It was a asylum/sanitarium that people sent mutants to a number of years ago. It got shut down because of abuses. and that ended up leaving a group of essentially what they call the orphanage, is a group of mutants that operate there in 4 points behind the scenes. They're not a particularly heavy criminal group. They're kind of a teen street gang group dedicated to helping each other out and preserving their own.
Okay.
So they're probably the group that might have the most power, and played right could be brought over to the good side.
Okay. Well, I don't buy it. I just hold no truck with mutant abuse. That's
Okay. Richard, what's your plan in this?
Well, I'm gonna be out in the field, I think.
Okay.
In disguise. Maybe something simple like a reporter, and I'm gonna try to meet our contacts. But I wanted to get, because I'm seeing like really 3 threats here. In the police, Sinkman, and the Sundown Boys. So, I mean, maybe I'll ask the group. I mean, should we focus on all 3, or maybe focus on one of them, or maybe do more investigation to really find out who's the worst out of all those?
I'm of the mind that the Sundown Boys may not be the top of the food chain, but it might be the quick results fast and show that we're making a difference kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
right. And
So
from a
so
medic perspective, it seems like we're not going to clean up Science City in 4 hours.
Yeah.
We might be able to do it in 30 days,
yeah, it's
but we might
messy.
just want to pick 2 things.
So I can access our contacts there. They're based off Great Cross.
Great
Right?
Cross. Yep.
Okay. Maybe we can. I can go in there, on the ground, and maybe find more information on them, like their hideouts, their top guys, who's their leader, who's their second in command, and so on. Their hierarchy.
That seems reasonable. What skill do you wanna use? What's your tactic for this?
All right.
Got a couple of different options.
Yeah. Because I think I have some stunts here. Otherwise. So
And
So-
imagine you were describing this pretty abstractly. So
So these guys are criminals. I'm sure we have a lot of criminal contacts in there, in that area.
okay.
So if I can, try to use burglary instead of contacts to really, talk to all those folks. All those, our contacts there who are, not the nicest of guys.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know, drop some money here and there, and try to get a little bit more info on that gang.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna let you make that burglary roll. We'll say that to use it. We'll put a stress on the contacts. But we'll have you make that burglary roll, and let's see what you can
Alright.
get from that.
Let's see. Hello.
There we go.
Did it roll?
And what's your burglary?
My burglary, I believe it's a +3.
Oh yeah, so 4.
+4.
All right. So describe to me what your powers look like when you're using them.
Sorry.
Sure.
Wait a minute. Did I get the right person? Yeah. Okay. Um, I think my guy would probably be more of a skilled guy. Oh no, I can turn invisible. You know what? I think I pulled up the wrong guy there. Um, I'm sorry, my bad. Um, uh, it's a let's say that it's a contacts of +2 because I think I pulled off the wrong person. I pulled that guy instead.
Oh no, so
Yeah.
your burglary is a +3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how describe my powers?
Just describe when you use burglary to walk through walls.
I would think he would just dim, just become like a living, almost a living shadow. I mean, not necessarily a shadow, but just dim. Just maybe people don't see him correctly, and he just kind of passes by people, and you just don't notice him.
All right.
And then maybe it's not flashy. Uh,
So you're fading
yeah,
into the woodwork, moving around through here. Again, gray
yeah,
cross, dense area. Imagine that we've got kind of rundown clubs. It's sort of
right,
the lower middle class area, and you're following up, talking to contacts that you've got some names, criminal things like that, and they're
right.
giving you
Dive
people to,
bars,
yeah,
clubs, yeah.
and they'll give you the sense that there are a set of brothers. The last name Hanan. They're Moroccan. Uh, Large Moroccan community that came over here in the teens. They're part of that.
Two
Uh,
brothers.
Actually, two now is what you get at first, that they're the two younger brothers, and they talk about the third older one being dead. But as you
Mm.
push, you get the sense that the older brother actually is still alive with that role that you got. And eventually you'll be able to track back where the older brother, a guy named Badri, is. Be able to track back to sort of a central location
Mhm.
and track him down and get a couple of interesting things about the Sundown Boys. One thing is that clearly what their edge is that they have contacts among the people that really helped build the city over the last 20 years. And they have access to a lot of tunnels
Mm.
and underground passages, ways to get into other places all around the city. You'll find yourself at one point in what's clearly the most secret part of their sort of organization and
Mm.
find a whole set of maps.
Maps.
Maps of the city, underground routes, locations, all sorts of diagrams. Clearly, they have people in the city planning board that they pay off.
Mm.
All kinds of information on that.
Can,
Um,
can,
so,
can I kind of grab some maps? I mean, if they have so many, you know what? I'll do it.
okay. Do you want to take how many? So you've got a burglary edge right now, about 4. How many of these maps do you want to take for how many neighborhoods?
I think I would focus really on the underground.
Okay. The underground of how many neighborhoods?
Let me see. Let me see. 4 points tomorrow. Great crop. Why don't we and the Crucible? Why don't we focus on kind of the middle and the east?
Okay.
So 4 points tomorrow. Crucible and Rig Frost.
Okay. I will say that will use up your advantage there, and you'll be able to come away with a set of maps that show underground connections, essentially, and some not as easier as others, but you'll get a whole set of those and remove that from their care.
Right.
So you have the location of the main boss of the brothers. and you've got those maps. All right, I'm going to come next to Suresh. What is that guy's plan?
Okay, so we are doing the public thing, right? I think we should have the team meet up with the government and the police so we know what we are dealing with in the city.
Okay. So you want to do kind of organize a conference there?
Yeah, something like a meet up everybody type of thing.
Okay, that seems reasonable there. What is your approach to that going to be? Do you want to do this via your sort of contacts, or do you want to try and do this via deception? How do you want to approach that?
I guess I could use deception since I have more like, hey guys, we just want to work together and make this city a better place.
Okay, so it's
work?
definitely trying to spin a line on them that conceals your true objective.
Yep.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead and make that deceive roll for me here? That is your highest skill. Play to your strengths. Oh, nice. So we'll assume that there's kind of a move on the part after you guys do the press conference, that pressure that you put with the new sheriff in town that suggests that public officials that maybe wouldn't want to meet with you are interested in meeting with you. And you will meet with the mayor, the police commissioner, and definitely with the DA, and get that impression across from them.
I will.
Go on.
I'll take the initiative to shake their hand and welcome them into our group, the place where we're having our meeting. Does that work with my shapeshifter later on?
Okay.
Because it says it's touch activated. So now that I've touched them all, I can use them next time, right?
All right, absolutely. So you have the shapes of the district attorney, you have the shape of the mayor, and you have the shape of the police commissioner, as well as several others. Okay? So we'll use that as some of your advantage there. Okay. And if you had to sum up the impression that you wanted to get across to them in an aspect phrase, how would you describe that?
We are just here to help.
Okay. All right. That seems reasonable. Okay. We'll add that as another aspect we're going to tag up there. Let me tell you, as a deceiver, with your role, the person here who you get the weirdest read off of is the district attorney. The other guys, the mayor and the police commissioner, they're all liars. I mean, you know that. The district attorney is clearly a liar with a lot more to hide. His name is District Attorney Golden. And you get a really weird vibe off of him. He's clearly got stuff to conceal. He's talking a good line about being appreciative of having you guys there, but when you shake his hand, his palm is sweaty. There's that perspiration on his brow. He's nervous to be here. He's not sure what to make of you guys, and you have the sense that maybe he's even watching you closely. Maybe he's reporting back to somebody based on what he's seen here. So you will come away from that meeting both with a lot of more good publicity, but also a sense that the DA, he's in somebody's pocket.
Okay.
Okay?
All
right.
All crap. We should just take over.
Yeah. Anything else? Does that seem reasonable?
No, that's okay.
Okay. Johnny Summer. William.
Well, obviously, I am not the guy to sit down and read books and do research and reports and analyzing. That's just, I'll leave that to the doctor there. I'm going to also the public face kind of thing, but I'm going to race around to various parts around the city to give a presence. You know, race there, stay there for a half hour, make a public appearance, go somewhere else, kind of make our presence, especially the high crime areas. I want to make sure that they see there's someone there doing something. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to case the joint, I guess, so to speak. Kind of see kind of patterns, see if I see any kind of, this is a really heavy area, this is a hideout, that kind of thing. I'm just trying to get a general overview, more so than we had before.
Okay.
Maybe I can pin down more of where everyone is.
I think that seems like either an investigator or a notice roll.
I was hoping for notice. Okay, that's good.
Since you're actually on the street doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good.
Big details. 4 Points is in bad shape. It has a lot of flooding going on there. Run down. It's like they tried to build it up, but they didn't quite get the infrastructure right. So that's the big one. Less crime than other areas, but still a lot of people nervous because there is the mutant underground gangs, and that's kind of not spoken of openly, but it does worry people. Gray Cross is kind of under the thumb. People talk about the Sundown Boys a lot there. A lot more people carrying guns, bats, that kind of thing there. Certain amount of danger. Crucible, ethnic. A lot of ethnic neighborhoods, Chinese immigrants, Moroccan immigrants, Belgian immigrants, a lot of different groups all over that place, and packed in working class neighborhoods. People heading to work at the shipyards, dockyards there, and a lot of that kind of strong arm enforcement that goes on, extortion by the Throck Syndicate. Probably the most unusual thing is that you will definitely see that Tomorrow Way, while there's definitely police patrol presence, there's a lot of that security for Zinc Industries. They have at least as much of a presence out on the street as the standard police do. And quiet, you know, that sort of glowering that they do at people. People keep quiet when they're around. That definitely that sense that they are the real force in charge in that area. Those are the big things off of those areas. Does that seem like a reasonable set of information for you? Do you have any kind of follow up on that, or should I move?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, that gives me a lot of.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot to work with.
Okay. Do you guys want to reconvene and discuss group plans, or shall I move for another once around?
I think we should just make a plan of action here and get busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you want to do this? Let's assume we're a few days in here in this first week. You guys have gathered some information, meeting there in your base. You contact your agents are kind of out amongst the city, kind of hitting the pavement. How do you want to approach things? What do you want to target?
Well, at least we have maps of the underground, so that's a possibility that we could move around there quickly and without being seen. Let's just keep that in mind.
Definitely so. And I could case those underground areas pretty quickly. I think focusing on Grey Cross, and Sundown might be the biggest because they've got more weapons on the street. That's obviously going to be more crime, more shootings.
Right. I kind of agree. I think we need to pick a group and get to work. And I think the Sundown Boys is as good a place to start as any. I think either go after them or go after Zinkman, but we don't really have anything to put on Zinkman at this point.
Yeah.
The Sundown Boys are an obvious threat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a way to do research on, since the district attorney? If we all shared, I'm assuming we all shared everything we found.
I'm going to assume
Kind of giving a little bit more background, maybe see if we can find out maybe what he has to hide, see his history, where he came from, that kind of thing. That is kind of like a research mode while we're working on taking care of Sundown.
Yeah.
Sundown Boys. Okay.
Maybe we can get our agents to research that.
Okay. If you want to put the agents in play on that, we can do that to see what they can dig up. Essentially, task them particularly to.
Yeah, we have PIs, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody, give me a fate roll for me.
Ooh.
No.
Somebody else.
Oh.
Somebody else.
Yeah, okay.
Reroll it.
If you want to, so we'll essentially, if you want to use the agents reroll, go ahead and reroll. So we'll take a stress token on the agents.
All right.
Your PIs have gone missing.
Uh-oh.
Yep. That's probably exactly what happened.
Asking too many questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the PIs was a dud. That was the problem. After he vanished, it did much better.
So right now we're at this. Contacts are at 3, and agents are at 1. Here is what you will get is that the DA seems to be in the service of the Oriflamme group. That they will track him back, clandestine meetings up in Radium Heights, and it'd probably be the first time that you kind of get a description of the Oriflamme people, that they actually are in cowls, they have hoods on, they have a little flame symbol as well. They clearly have adopted some weird set of symbology, and the district attorney seems panicked when he's reporting in, giving information on you guys. And you will see that when this is what the agents will report back to you, is that the people from Oriflamme handed him off a packet afterwards, and it seemed to have some sort of drug of some kind in it, and the district attorney shot up with that after they met.
Did they, by any chance, take a photo of that transaction?
They didn't, because they would have needed a flash for the night stuff, but they but that's the information that they will get you, that who's he's in bed with, and a suspicion that they're supplying him with some sort of narcotic. All right, so let me ask you this. You said Sundown Boys. How do you want to deal with them? You guys have a bunch of superpowers. You've got some resources. How do you want to do it?
Do we just start busting the little guys, the minions, or do we go straight for the their main location.
But we know where their leadership is, right?
Yeah, well, I
We
mean,
could,
Yeah.
it's kind of a
I mean,
loose group.
we could accost some of the minions to get some information.
Can you clarify? There's two brothers, and then there's the third brother. Are they in the same location? And the third brother's just like we never see him, or is he in a different location?
Essentially, imagine that he's sort of holed up in an apartment upstairs, and the two brothers are kind of the public face on this building, and they're the ones that are out on the street. But your sense is definitely that they are taking orders from the older brother.
I think if we go in and just bust heads on minions, we'll attract their attention soon enough.
Yeah, maybe we don't want to deal with them in their own. We want to draw them out instead of dealing in their own base where they have advantage.
We could plant. We could set up a fake job for them, like through a intermediary, to have them. Since they act as effectively mercenaries or muscle for hire, have them hire them to do like a bank robbery or something like that, and then take them out. But there's risks to that too, because if anyone finds out we're behind it, then we're going to look really bad.
There is that.
Since we are taking the name of the Watchmen, how would the old Watchmen do it? Would they like go in loud or wait for them to act or something?
Old Watchman was very much a Batman-style figure. Go in the night, bust heads, wrap people up and deliver them to the police where there were outstanding warrants, that kind of thing. Mind you, there was kind of a revolving door, but at least would get them off the street for a time.
Do the Sundown Boys, do they deal in like narcotics? Are they selling drugs on the street, that kind of thing, or?
They're pretty modest on that side of things. Seems like
Okay.
drug trafficking's in other hands.
Okay.
We should just go in and bust heads.
Yeah, I don't think we have to have anything to fear with just going straight into their headquarters.
Yeah.
We're superheroes. We can do this.
So you guys want to go in kind of straight in, take down, now that you've uncovered where their base location is, go in and deal with them straight on that way? Okay.
I'm in favor of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's
Then
do it at night.
Okay.
Sneak in.
No. Just because the Watchmen would have done that.
All right.
And also you get someone when they're tired, they're asleep, they get dazed.
Okay. So let me have. I think we're going to kind of abstract this out. I know what the violence level of this faction is. And we're going to abstract it out here with you guys actually doing this. You're going to tell me what your primary skill that you're going to be using to do this. If it's going to be fight or shoot or something like that for busting these heads. Or something else. And we'll kind of go around and we're gonna kind of resolve it that way. Since this is more of an abstract activity for you guys taking them out, they aren't, a threat necessarily on your level. So, Chris, how do you want to approach this? When you guys go in, what's your thing?
I intend to use electricity to fry and incapacitate as many people as I can, which is
Okay.
shoot.
Okay. Why don't you make a shoot roll for me there?
Right.
Ooh, nice. The minuses are killer, though.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and spend a fate point and invoke the idea that there's a new sheriff in town, because this is
Okay.
us proving it.
Well, you got a free invoke on that because you built
Oh,
that
that's
aspect.
right.
So
That's right, that's right.
we'll bump it up to a 4 on that.
Okay.
Okay. So you are going to take a stress box off of that, but you're going to be overcoming there.
Okay.
Dr. X, what's your plan there?
I think
And I'll kind of go through them.
I'm going to use my physique. So rather than go in and punch or go in and shoot, I'm going to go in and pick up heavy things and throw them at people.
Okay.
Since using,
Are we going in
and
one
I'm
big
using my.
I'm assuming that you guys are probably swooping in different positions, different places, that kind of thing. But you can feel free to, if you want to create an aspect for another player, you can certainly do that.
And not trying to interrupt, but I'm just wondering because what I was thinking might be an asset for all of you guys, because I'm thinking go in there with some kind of flashbangs and just set them all off and then leave the room kind of thing. So that way they're distracted and stunned for the rest of you guys.
Okay, do you want to do that as essentially to create an advantage?
Yeah, make it easier for the rest of you. Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, what do you think you want to roll that on? Does that seem like an athletics thing for running through and doing that?
I'm thinking athletics, yeah.
Okay, let's have you make that roll. Oh my God!
Oh, wow.
Okay,
All right,
that's a nice advantage for you guys.
So let's assume then we'll give you 3 free invokes on the flashbang there, and actually we'll say 4 because of the +4 there, because for all the margins. So Chris, we'll say that you actually get to invoke that as well on top of things. So don't have to worry about stress, and you will be taking guys, knocking them back and forth. Dr. X, why don't you make that physique roll?
Okay.
Oh my God!
And I'm invoking that extra of bestial aspect.
All right, so imagine that we've got electricity is shattering, the lights, the light bulbs explode, their telephones go out as you guys come in. People are being shocked. Dr. X is running in. He's normally kind of a sedate, more contemplative doctor, but he's throwing tables and chairs around, flinging them back. While this is going on, what is the Shadow doing? How are you working through this?
Well, I mean, since I can walk through walls, it would make sense for me to come from an opposite direction and just go in there and just start busting heads.
Okay.
And cause more chaos. Smack them around a little bit. I mean, my sight is low, but
that seems reasonable. You've got some stuff to reference, though. So go ahead and make that roll for me.
All right, let's do this.
Do you want to do it as a reroll or a +2?
What do I need to beat?
So right now, straight up, their violence that you need to beat is a 3.
A 3. Okay. Well. Are there any floating advantages?
So you can invoke the flashbang as a free floating there. That'll be for free.
Okay, so let me invoke that as a +2, and I'm going to use. Can I use Invisible Infiltrator? Just coming, from the shadows, through the wall, and surprise attack.
Okay, so that'll be 1 fate point of your own plus the free invoke. Yeah. Do you want to do both those as +2?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so that'll get you up to the 3 then. Okay, so we got that for that stress. We got that for that. That for that. And finally we come to that guy.
All right. In between all the electricity and the stuff being thrown around, there would be some people dead, right? Among
They're
them?
probably at least unconscious, I would say. Unless you guys are going for killing strikes, that's entirely on your end of things.
Are you guys going for killing strikes?
I'm not.
No.
No. All right. I
Well,
will.
I may not care, but I'm not. I'm not trying to.
Okay.
All right. Since everybody is trying to make this clean, I will touch one of the unconscious people for shapeshifter
Okay.
and disguise myself as them and run up towards the leaders and just shout, "It's a raid! It's a raid!" Just to see what they do. Like maybe normally when people get caught off guard like that, they will try and secure the important things or delete information or stuff like that. So I just want to see what they're doing so I can like salvage it or try and steal it for ourselves later on.
That's interesting. Okay, why don't you make a deceive roll for me?
Okay, deceive. With my power, I get a +2 as well, right? The shapeshifter.
Yep. Oh my gosh. You will see that one of the sort of the clearly the brothers who are in charge definitely goes and grabs a strong box and makes a break for it. And you will be able to, in the chaos of this, separate him away from that. Does that seem
Alright.
like a reasonable result?
Yep, sure, no problem.
Okay, that was
kind of
clearly the thing he was told to get away with, and you will get that from him. Okay, so they've still got one stress box, so I am going to kind of deal an attack back to you guys. So you can resist this with physique or athletics. It's up to you guys how you wish to do that. Actually, get my roll. Have to do the copy and paste on this.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the value you want to resist here. So you want to roll either physique or athletics and get at least a 0.
Okay.
Could I be attacked as well since I'm in disguise, or what?
Well, I'm going to have you roll just for the chaos of the situation.
Alright.
Yeah, it's just an abstraction, I guess.
Yeah.
Athletics, right?
Yep. Or physique, either one. Because essentially, imagine that you guys have rushed into this building, and the electricity is going off. Things are collapsing. People are pulling out gunfire is going off. Different places, the flashbangs. Everyone is blinded. The main brothers trying to get out. You have the sense that they are the organization here. A good several dozen of these guys that were scattered throughout the building. It's just about on the edge here of collapse. How do you want to follow up then, Shockwave?
I think what I want to do is just issue a "that's right, you better run" type admonition.
Okay, I could provoke.
Yeah, provoke. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll that. So we've got an additional aspect there that can be invoked. How do you want to describe that?
Actually, yes. Yeah. Let's just call it "you better run."
Okay. So we've got that on there with significant weight to it. What about you, Doctor?
So I take it we've knocked down or knocked out a lot of the minions, or we have
Yeah.
them on the run.
There's chaos in this building. This is like a sixth-floor tenement that they've got set up kind of as a bunker. You guys have busted through doors. Johnny's run through, let off flashbangs that are going around. People have been firing off guns. You've been smashing through doors. They're completely in disarray right now.
I want to find either the brothers or the third brother.
Okay.
We can't lose sight of the head of the organization in the middle of all the minion chaos.
Okay. So let's have you make that physique roll to move through and essentially get him before he can get away.
Okay. So I think that extra helps me out here then.
Yep.
Because it's nimbleness and things like that. So I'm bounding over tables and chairs and scrambling after them.
Okay. They're at just a 1 right now, so you know that one of the brothers you saw go by, one of the sort of the less important ones, did go by, and that guy was pursuing him. But you'll get another one of these brothers desperately running down the stairs, and you will do that sort of swing up through the staircase, grabbing onto things, and tackle him down and get a hold of him and get him locked down so that he cannot escape.
Okay, and I'm going to say, Johnny Summer, take out the boss!
And Johnny will follow on with you.
All right, got it. Have I seen him where he's at now? I guess by this point, since I'm all over the place.
Well,
or have a good idea at least.
Well, and actually, I assume that Phantom would have given you a sense of where he's located at.
Yeah, then I'm heading there.
Okay. Let's do this as a fight roll.
Okay.
He's kind of a named baddie there. He's heard the commotion. He's been getting his stuff together, desperately putting things in bags, going into the map room and realizing that all the maps are missing. Running back out, encountering you, and go ahead and make that.
And if I understand the power, I've got my fight is +3, and then the power gives me an additional +2 if I'm using super speed.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what I'm going to go in and do the typical attack him multiple times.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh.
You've still got the an invoke left on the flashbang. Do you want to use that?
Yeah, definitely going to use that. Bump that up to, well, actually with 3 negatives, I probably should just re-roll it.
You're losing money not re-rolling it.
Yeah. And survey says
a little bit better there. So you will definitely knock him back into the wall, send the gun flying out of his hand. He's not nearly as tough as you would have expected. It actually looks like he's maybe been sick. That's why he's holed up here. But you'll kind of take him down. Main guys are down. There's still a few guys left fighting. What do you want to do, Phantom?
Couple of let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take out my gun and just kind of, since I have shoot, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and just tell him to, try to Oh, I don't have provoke. You know what? I'm just. So we have who's on the stairs.
We'll assume that right now Dr. X is on the stairs, pulling down one of the younger brothers. There are various goons around that are right now. If they're not stopped, they are going to run for it.
Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn invisible, and go to Dr. X and try to help him,
Okay.
try to assist him.
So we'll assume that you will be able to get the other brother locked down.
Right.
Okay.
So
So the two main guys are locked down right now, and essentially the goons are sort of running off. They haven't been completely destroyed in this situation, but the group has taken a lot of damage since you hit the head. What about you, Suresh?
So all the brothers are taken care of, right?
Looks like you could, if you wanted to, you could pursue the third brother that you got the strongbox from, or you could move back to secure the location.
I think we should just catch all the hits.
Okay.
Can I like touch another unconscious person and say something like boss, this way," and try and lead him towards one of the heavy hitters?
Okay. That's yeah. Let's do that as a deceive action there. Kind of an attack based on deception.
So it's the same as just now, right?
Yep. So what will happen is you guys have crackling electricity through here. You got the brothers locked down. The guys, the sort of the mooks that are on the ground are intimidated. A lot of them have run out. Some have run back in, and you. Suresh will lead this last brother back through stairs. You know, oh no, it's safe. Lead him in. You'll finally lead him back into the main room, where he'll come face to face with essentially Johnny's got a hold of the older brother. Dr. X, Bestial has the younger brother, and then Shockwave is crackling with electricity. And there's that moment when he kind of realizes that it's up for him, and he will raise his hands in surrender, and you will be able to lock him down.
Right. I'd like to.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Before we drag these guys in, and the answer to this may be in the strong box, but I'd like to investigate the area for the incontrovertible proof of these guys' crimes, so that we can not only deliver the guys, but also deliver the smoking gun evidence.
Okay. Why don't you make that roll for me?
Okay.
Investigation.
Wah, wah.
You know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, is there anything you want to invoke? You still there's one aspect still out on the table. The you'd better run aspect has not been used up.
Well, that doesn't seem to apply to this really, or I'd be reluctant to apply it to this. But what I can do is I'm going to spend a fate point.
Okay.
And invoke, or not invoke, but this is a stunt called the Power of Deduction.
Okay.
So once per scene, I can spend a fate point on an investigate roll, and I've actually got to read to see exactly what it does, but it does something with investigating. And a few minutes of observation. Make a special investigate roll representing your potential deductive facilities. Each shift you make on this roll, you discover or create an aspect. So that doesn't really help me, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's
Since
more of
the
a
roll was poo.
right.
Okay, well, then I will spend the fate point to add 2 to that, invoking reason over force.
Okay, that seems reasonable to me. Literally. So you guys will go through here, and there is a lot of evidence, and a lot of evidence they didn't even have the time to burn. Transactions, logs, stolen goods, that kind of thing. Very much sort of cutting the head off. Most importantly to you with that 3 is a black book of payoffs to the police in this neighborhood that will give you some information on that. Number two, essentially enough evidence to certainly make sure that these three, they'll be through the court system for a while before they can buy their way out, um, uh, and sort of lock them down. And probably the rest of the maps for the underground of the city. Does that seem like a reasonable set of rewards for that?
Sure.
Okay.
I think we keep the little black book because that's not something we'd want to turn over to the police. Here's a record of your payoffs.
Right.
But so yeah, I think we leave these guys trussed up and hanging from the streetlights outside the police station at sunrise.
Okay.
And deliver the evidence to the DA's office by courier at the same time, along with a note.
That seems good. What you will get the sense is you guys will kind of clear out of there. There's a little tension in the area. These guys are locals. You guys are people that have come in. There's some tension on that, and some of the gang did get away. Not too many, but you certainly cut off the head of this organization, and the radio stations and the papers, everything will be talking about this, first thing tomorrow morning, with a lot of pressure put on the district attorney to make good on this. One of the things is it's going to be harder for them to essentially let them go because of the attention that you guys have brought to this, both coming in right away with the new sheriff in town and you're trussing up and displaying them as vocally as you have. Suresh.
Can we? Yeah.
I assume you wish to check the strong box.
Yep.
You will see that inside is actually a couple of odd things. One of them is actually a lot of gold. And there's some notes in there, clearly from the leader of the Sundown Boys, that suggest that he was wondering where this gold had come from, and he believes that it came from Oriflamme, that Oriflamme had some financial resources that it was using to buy people off. The other thing that you will get is clearly the Sundown Boys believed that they had found the location of the Watchmen's former base over there in Radium Heights, but they hadn't yet been able to get in there to kind of break in and raid it. So that's the other big thing that's there on the list.
All right, I'll just share it with the group.
Okay. And you guys will get that stuff together. We're about a halfway point here, so let's take maybe a 5-10 minute break for beverages, whatever. Does that seem reasonable?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
All right.
Hey girl, no.
it's very hard, I think, to engage in the same way. I mean, I think it feels like it's a very quiet group that you're kind of having to pull along. But I think it's hard to engage in the same way through VoIP compared to being face to face at a table.
Well, yeah, one of the things is it's a little bit harder to do the kind of free exchange of the kind of scrimmage of ideas and planning that you get at the table with this kind of game. And I hadn't used this structure before, so I was curious about how it would work with doing it with VoIP.
Use the structure? What do you mean? Like
well,
using a sandbox or using
a sandbox where we put an operation out. There's the gathering of information and there's the carrying out of things.
Oh, okay.
Where it really does require more kind of everybody going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's this is clearly, would make an awesome campaign, but I think this is a difficult one shot to run.
Oh yeah, no, The goal of this is to see how much damage you guys can do in 4 hours. Effectively.
Okay.
Oh, I think we're going too slow. We should go faster.
Yeah, right.
More things. By the time we're through, the whole city will just burn.
Well, it's funny because I ended up at Gen Con. I did a game which is supposed to be a 4-hour kind of cyber ninja thing where they have an operation they're supposed to carry out and plan it, but it ended up getting condensed into a 2-hour block, and that was one of those times where I was just like boom, 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 and with absolutely no breaks between people's actions. So you guys are about 5-6 days in. Your arrival has been celebrated. People are talking about you, and it's on that 5th day that you do that raid on the Sundown Boys. Go in there, smash heads, and effectively take them out. A smart move for a couple of reasons. One, because they are the ones most likely to kind of do damage, and so you take a player out that other people can use. 2, they're not that neighborhood is not particularly one that people want to move into, so you don't create necessarily an immediate power vacuum. So that is kind of taken up. Your agents will report in that definitely after things were turned in that the DA kind of freaked out. That he clearly felt the pressure to move on things, but also clearly went back to Radium Heights to talk with people from Oriflamme to try and get marching orders. And after he does so, he comes back, he's a little more composed, and definitely talks about the need for cleaning up Science City and thanks the new Watchmen for their efforts and pushes that line.
I think that eventually, if we are going after Oriflamme, we have to do something about the DA.
Well, or since the dots connect from the Sundown Boys to Oriflamme, it may make sense to go after them next, and maybe that will put enough pressure on the DA that we can get him replaced. Because he'll be in an impossible situation if we turn Oriflamme over to them. Also, I'm really worried about what Oriflamme is doing. I mean, they sound like they're trying to wake Cthulhu or something. I mean, they're walking around in their robes talking about star vampires and shit. I'm really concerned.
And they are in Radium Heights, which is also where the old hideout of Watchmen is, so getting kind of concerned about that.
Do we want to hit that?
Well, I think we have to figure out what they're up to first, or I mean, what I don't know.
You want to split up?
Well, fair enough. Why don't we do another once around, so you guys can ask questions, do investigation, that kind of thing, and you can figure out how you want to head on to things. So, Chris, I'm not going to start with you because I hit you with number 1 on all those other ones, so I'm going to move over to the left, and I am going to start with Dr. X on this next round.
All right. I'm going to use my lore,
Okay.
and I'm trying to think how to apply it exactly. But so lore is just sort of what I know about the world generally.
Lore is that it's general worldly knowledge. It's all of those skills outside of. Imagine that it actually covers science in a lot of ways.
Okay. Okay.
Whereas crafts is engineering, lore includes science and that stuff, and any of those kind of knowledge skills.
Okay. Then that's probably not the right skill. I think it's investigate again, but essentially, I'm digging for who is Oriflamme and what are their objectives.
Okay. Let's have you make that roll.
All right.
Okay. So your first question is who is Oriflamme?
Or who are Oriflamme?
Or Oriflamme. So they clearly. So Oriflamme appeared about 4 years ago. Perhaps a year after the Watchmen vanished, and they moved in very quickly on the criminals that were operating up in Radium Heights, and in particular, there was a more organized group known as Hearthog, and will essentially Oriflamme moved in over the course of just a couple of weeks and took out the existing criminal network quickly, surgically, smartly, and then put themselves in place. In terms of activities, what they're involved in, it looks like they're involved in smuggling. It looks like they're involved in money laundering. And they definitely have a lot of agents. They're hiring smarter people, maybe a little bit higher quality of mook. You might actually call them henchmen rather than just mooks. And they've definitely got kind of a uniform to them. They aren't just street gangsters. They clearly want to be more. Does that seem like a reasonable answer to that question?
Sure.
Okay. What's your second question?
What? I guess where I was going with what are their objectives is there any kind of occult connection? Are they up to anything weird and occult because they sound like it?
That's a good question. Yes. In some ways, they have there are a couple of named people who are associated with Oriflamme, and in particular, there's kind of a Svengali / Rasputin kind of guy who operates at a Highmark, a guy named Dr. Davian, and he has organized kind of a group of high socialite, sort of occult and Masonic style people. It does feel to you very much like a scam, that they're using this to kind of create obligations in people and prey on people's superstitions, but also to create an atmosphere of fear. You have pretty good lore skill, right?
Yeah.
So your sense is very much that all the bits and pieces that they're using is cobbled together, not a legitimate set of beliefs, but more kind of a carefully constructed cult to draw people in.
Okay, so I mean, they did the build a cult from a kit.
Yes.
Okay.
You have one more question.
What can we nail them on?
In terms of the activity that they're most vulnerable on, in terms of catching people at the act, probably smuggling operations is probably the weakest link for them.
Is that mostly by ship?
Yeah, because it does require physical presence and moving of goods and so on. It's the one place where the henchmen could be caught and potentially grabbed up. Okay. Richard.
Yes, sir.
What is your plan in this next stage of the operations?
That base really has me interested. I'm gonna ask you guys, how about the base? Do I hit it? Do we know where it is? Do we know the exact location?
So they have a set of notes there from the strong box that guy got that indicate probable location. So
Okay.
maybe not exact, but probable.
I'm gonna probably kind of sneak around that area, probably at night. Using my powers, stealthily look around and see what I can find.
Okay. That's going to be an investigation roll.
Okay. Okay. Sweet.
So I'm going to give you a couple of things, and then I'll let you ask a question. One is you'll be able to go through the places that they suspect it might be at, and narrow it down to a location, essentially close by the water. Give the sense that there must be some underwater access way. There's some things that indicate venting, that kind of thing. And in a way that suggests to you that perhaps if there is a base here, it might actually still be in operation. And now I'll let you ask a question.
So you say that there's a base that could still be in operation, meaning maybe the vents or I don't know, heat coming out of the vents or
Exactly.
something like that.
Like there are some holes up here that look like natural cavern holes, but when you go check them, there's warm air coming up that seems to you like it's venting out from a cooling of some sort.
Do I see any suspicious activity? So it's by the water. So any fishermen or pleasure cruises around that area that kind of goes behind a rock and disappears, or just something out of place? Anything?
Yeah, there is offshore, parked a ways offshore. There is a vessel. You're over here in the area that's more sort of regattas and yachts and things, and this looks more like a kind of a shipping vessel that's offshore. And it's kind of unusual that it's parked out there.
Okay, I'm sorry. And where is that? Is that towards Highmark?
So imagine that we're up here in Radium Heights. Actually, I'll give you a little dot.
I see. Radium Heights. All right.
Okay.
I will bring this to the group. All
right.
This information.
All right, that guy.
All right. I guess after our first act as superheroes in the city was so successful, I am going to use my rumor monger to place pressure on the police force to clean up their act and just be more effective.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah, let's see what we want to... that looks like that'll be... let's see how we want to play that. So rumor monger is merely about placing vicious rumors. So you might want to consider how you want to rephrase that, or tell me how the vicious rumors are going to push the police.
Right. We have evidence that the police is on the take, so we can spread the rumor that maybe they took this long to just ignore this Sundance because they are on the take.
Okay.
But
So
we
a little bit
won't.
of okay.
Yeah, but we won't show the black book yet.
Okay. Why don't you make a let's see. So for that one, you'll get the +2. Let's use your contacts for that.
Okay.
Roll contacts with the +2 for the rumor monger.
I think I shall reroll.
Okay.
What aspects do we have?
The one that hasn't been invoked yet is the just here to help.
Yeah, I'll use that. Because
Okay.
I'm making a comparison with what we do in the police.
Okay. Fate dice are the most unkind dice of all.
They really are.
Oh!
There you go.
Nice.
So you will definitely put pressure. Within a couple of days, you guys will get reports back that the commissioner has pulled the chiefs from each of the precincts in and has tuned them out and has made it clear that until these jackass superheroes leave, they need to clean up their act, and eventually somebody's going to do something about these guys and eliminate them. But until then, the public is on their side. We've got to do this. There are rumors, that they're the people that maybe the Sundown Boys talked, or maybe they give information. So there's definitely that general feeling across the board that they have to be especially careful. That has to be kept under wraps, or at least hidden better than it has been. So that would be strongly effective, and that will go with a 6 that will go all the way across the city.
Nice.
All right, Johnny.
I think in these instances, my best thing is probably recon. I'm really interested in that boat that seems out of place in a sea of yachts, as well as kind of casing the Oriflame's location, getting a feel for weak spots.
Okay.
Anticipating what you use. So kind of both. I don't know if I can accomplish both, but just
Well,
kind of trying to
let's have you make that. This would be an investigate roll for this one.
Ooh, not very good. But we will
But
see.
you get fate points. It's all good.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Famous last words.
Ooh.
Is that your final answer?
No.
Have we had any compels?
I haven't had to hit you with compels yet.
Just so I can risk-taking blur. Maybe I pushed myself a little bit too close investigating some of these. I don't know if that's kind of going between that and the trouble.
Okay.
Just really trying to, because I know we got to make the step. We've got to really look into these guys, and so I've got to find out some weaknesses to both locations.
All right. So you're spending that for the +2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd probably be the better chance.
Okay. So with a 3, it's harder to get a real sense of where Oriflamme is working because you're moving around outside. You're a blur moving throughout the night, flash from the recent show, and they seem to be high class crime behind closed doors, that kind of thing. but you will definitely see, as you're casing this out and keeping quiet, that the next night you will see frogmen moving stuff off that boat into the water, and you have the sense that they are maybe moving it underwater and then into whatever this base is. And you will definitely get a sense of that. And with the 3, you will probably spot at least one person bearing the markings of Oriflamme. Essentially, see somebody with the hood on with the mark on them. That confirms to you that that is who is operating there. Does that seem reasonable?
It does.
All right, Chris.
Essentially, what I want to do is work our contacts and agents to spread the word throughout Radium Heights, not to worry that we're going to go after the Throck Syndicate next, and things are going to be fine, so that we can catch them off guard.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. All right. Do you want to do that with provoke again? Is that the deal?
Think that would be, yeah, I think that would be best.
Okay, why don't you make that roll?
Hey, I'll take it.
Oh, that's a good one. So you'll definitely get a little bit of a stand down of the tension there. So essentially, whatever their sort of heightened worry after the Sundown Boys will be minimized a little bit, and let a couple of days go past on that.
Okay, sweet.
All right. I'll assume you guys will meet up again and discuss things. Do you want to move on to something else, or do you want to do another go-around?
I think I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go in.
Okay. So the plan is then to what?
Do you guys want to hit the ship?
Well, if we want to find out what they're moving, but I think that's just the storage area of what. We have an idea they're going underground, under the water, to bring it into wherever this base is.
Well, can we start at the ship and follow it backwards to?
Maybe the ship is where they're keeping the gold.
I mean, find out where the frogmen are going.
Good point.
Okay.
Something I'd considered. I don't know if you guys want to use this. I'd considered us maybe ratting out the DA, kind of give him an idea that we know his connections anonymously, so maybe he'll go running to Oriflame and lead us that way, or if at least spook him, and then if we take Oriflame down, he's on the premises, so we get both of them together. I don't know if that's something we want to work into this. Or not yet.
I could shapeshift into the DA and try and sneak in.
We have a bunch of ways that we could publicly humiliate him, even if we.
Yeah.
I mean, just because I think no matter what happens, he's in terrible shape. Because if we take down Oriflame and then force him to prosecute them, he also just has no way to survive that.
True. And he loses his drug contact. Okay.
Yeah.
But now, is there any way that we can get dirt on him and manipulate him so that we can use him to, as our guy, to start putting people in jail and doing real prosecutions?
Yeah, you mean actually do his job?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
make him
you would be
turn
better
on.
off with upstart lawyer to do
Bad.
instead of a drug guy.
Yeah. So either investigate the ship, find out what that is and that connection, what's all involved there, or try to flip the DA so he turns on Oriflame.
Yeah, I would think that would be maybe after Oriflame. I don't know. Maybe get Oriflame first and then start. working on the DA.
Well, I guess his thinking is Johnny's speed. It would definitely be the action option. So I guess running to the boat probably would be the best versus this whole
Yeah.
cloak and dagger stuff. That's okay. Yeah.
I think
That's
we
my
have what
vote.
we need to go after the DA anyway.
That seems fair enough. So the boat is a little ways offshore. What's your guys' plan for how you want to investigate that boat?
Yeah, because our car doesn't go there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And we don't have helicopters yet. And
We should have a watchman boat, don't we?
Do we have boats? Use our resources.
Sure, we'll take a stress tag on your resource, and we'll say that you guys have essentially a sort of smuggler style boat that you can use that is relatively low profile. Does that seem reasonable use for that?
yeah, and I want to do a little work on that, a little modification.
Okay.
So I'd like to use my crafts
Oh,
and make some improvements on it. Now that's going to, with better than new.
All right.
So if I do really good at this, I can give it a situation aspect. And I'm thinking like a stealth mode, or a cloaked mode, or run silent, run deep, or something like that, so we can take the boat by surprise.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make that crafts roll.
Roll my crafts, which is where? Here it is, 3.
Man, I have no idea.
oh.
Alternatively,
Well,
Going
I painted it black.
You can't really get worse if you re-roll that. Not much.
That's true.
If you got the fate point to spin.
Yeah, I've got it. So I'm going to, after hammering at it really hard for a while, I step back and think about it. And I use reason over force.
Okay.
And try it again.
Tempted to compel the beast within and have you break the boat, but I won't do that right now.
We'll do that in a minute with another fate point.
Okay.
That's still not enough. I don't think I succeeded with style. No, I didn't.
So the boat is up to spec. It's well shaped, but it's not anything super fancy. But it will hold you guys, and you guys can head out. Yes, it is black. You do paint it black. And you will use your water access you got from the base, and head out up through the essentially the canal out onto the main water, and then come around to the boat itself. So I'm going to have someone make a stealth roll. Who wants to be the person who makes the stealth roll?
Hey, I got the +4.
Well, that's probably the person who should make the stealth roll for you, sort of leading the.
All right. There we go.
Okay. Once again, fate, the most unkind dice.
Yes.
Well, what do we have to beat?
So right now, they're at a 1, so you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've got a number list that I use. So you will get alongside. You're kind of steering things, keep it quiet. It's the same boat that you spotted Johnny the night before. There are public guards up on there. There's some stuff concealed over tarpans. How do you guys want to proceed? Do you want to sneakily investigate? Do you want to take out the guards?
Well, I'm not much for sneaking. I'm just looking at some of my aspects. I probably would end up run up the side of the boat, run through it, and get like a head count. Is what I'm thinking. But
I think you're doing a Captain America opening scene of Captain America Winter Soldier here.
Then, since they are just a few guards on here, you guys have managed to sneak up. Johnny, we're going to do this as just a straight fight check, trying to overcome their difficulty to take out the guards who are not expecting anybody at this point. In part because they've been told that the superheroes are going elsewhere. So let's have that as a fight check.
Would I get that extra 2 for using super speed?
Yes.
Okay. That will help.
Oh.
Ouch.
So a 4. So you guys get up close, move up silently, and then Johnny is up, and you'll hear that kind of, and maybe the last guy gets a chance to get his gun up, and then he is knocked unconscious. Maybe there's the ploop as the gun falls into the water there.
Nice.
There may be 4 or 5 guys on here. It looks like they are simply guarding stuff. So you guys can get up on board to check things out.
Can we identify them as what's the name of the group again?
Yeah, definitely. While they're not wearing them, they all have these hoods that they can pull over their heads with the Oriflamme marks on them.
I am so tempted to kill one just to take all his memories.
So you guys will check out the boat.
Is there cargo on deck, or do we have to go below to look at the cargo?
It looks like there's some cargo on deck and some down below as well.
Actually, we are on a boat, right?
Yes.
How far off the shore are we?
Oh, maybe 100 yards.
Good body disposal. I shall kill one and take his memories, and then dump him off the boat.
Okay. I assume you're doing this out of the sight of others?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Why don't you make a simple deceive roll for me? It is 1930s. Batman had guns, so.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, good point.
Okay. So we'll just assume on that. Let me come back to that in a second, Suresh, and let me describe what is on the boat. It looks like they have scientific and technical equipment here, Doctor. It looks like. Why don't you make a crafts roll for me?
Okay.
Actually.
All this stuff is.
It looks more like not engineering stuff so much as maybe repair materials, like they're working to fix something or restore something. And you also guys will also find down below that they do have gold down there, a pretty hefty supply of it. And they seem to be sort of have moved that onto the boat essentially for transport out. So you're not sure what the deal is. There is there are wetsuits here, effectively, essentially 1930s, a little bit more tech diving equipment. Suresh, you want the memories of this guy?
Yep.
Okay. And let me look at that.
Anything damning about the ship or the people?
Let's see here. You will get, that sort of full flashback of this guy's life as a minion, of him being hired, of the kind of the cult-like atmosphere, and in particular that there is that the Oriflamme has control of the Watchman's base, and it's set up with a lot of gear and equipment and weapons, and they have a lot of people down there. But more importantly, they actually have strapped in there a super being. One of the Watchman's old colleagues, a guy named King Midas, who apparently has some sort of matter transformation powers, and they are using him to make gold. It takes a lot of energy, apparently, to get him to do this, but they've been able to use that to finance their operations.
All right, counterfeiting charge.
That's exactly. So what do you guys want to do?
Does he have any information about the boat we are on? Anything specific to use?
Essentially, the boat comes in. It's dropping off materials that they for repairs to the base. Apparently, the sort of above ground way to get to the base is blocked. So they can't get to it, so they have to come in through the waterways. And the boat itself is pretty much used kind of for smuggling and stuff.
I think Johnny is going to do something probably the group may or may not regret. But
okay.
I already did mine, so don't worry.
Realizing that.
Did you share that information with everyone? So?
No, because I'm faster than common sense.
Actually, you know what? I will share that information with everybody. And if anybody asks, I say it's better if you do not know how I found out the information.
I will
Johnny,
listen or look the other way.
Johnny, let's assume the information disseminated.
Okay.
Questions on that? You'll hear the dogs barking in the distance.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. No. Johnny, you were saying?
I don't. We need to leave the gold for evidence, I guess. But Johnny is thinking they don't need to have access to this. I was thinking find a way to sink the ship, but that's probably a bit extreme even for Johnny.
Okay.
I will probably take a wrench and go up to the control panel in the pilot box and just dismantle all the driving mechanisms.
Okay. That seems like an easy enough thing for you to do. What about you, Chris? Is there anything that you're doing I should know about on the boat?
Just kind of stewing, because rescuing King Midas seems like would be a blow against them and somebody who could help us.
Yeah, I agree. I would be going straight for a wetsuit.
Okay.
If Johnny isn't breaking this ship, we could go in Trojan horse style.
And asking the Phantom, how do we get there underwater?
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so can we steal like some suits? Or, I mean, do they have
Absolutely.
wetsuits?
There are a set of wetsuits there.
Now let's suit up.
Actually, when I use my power, I have their memories, their accent, and everything else, right?
Right.
Could I like make up a fake distress call to their main group so that they will send people here and there's less people for us to face when we go into the base?
Well, I'm going to give Johnny a fate point. He already busted the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Professor X, you can fix the radio.
Well, we might benefit from the advantage of surprise. I don't know. But they won't be expecting us to be coming underwater.
Mm.
And I think we have a moral obligation to release King Midas from this personal hell that he's in. I mean, he's one of us.
I don't think that's even in question. Yeah, we need to.
Haven't turned him.
Get him out, relieve his suffering.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go get him.
All right. So you guys want to move in to into the base there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Give me
I'll put-
one. Oh, yep.
So we're just gonna scuba in there then.
Yep.
That is
Huh?
what I'm hearing. Okay, you got to give me 1 second to set things up here, if you will.
Sure.
Copy that.
Okay, so we'll pull out. You are not going to have tokens that look like your characters, particularly. So,
Oh, okay.
okay. And okay, and last one. Okay, there we go. Okay. And okay. So I'm going to flip the map for you guys here, if I may.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of bad guys.
So we got a lot of henchmen around. Okay. You guys are sneaking in. I'm going to associate these with you guys, and let's see. So Dr. X, putting you as Reed Richards there. That seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Who wants to be Deadshot?
Me.
Okay.
No, I want to be the grifter. I want to be the grifter.
Okay, who wants to be Deadshot? Johnny, I'm going to make you Deadshot.
Man.
Okay.
Okay. And okay. There. Okay. So Grifter is that guy. Okay. Oh, actually, that's Dr. Light. He's a rapist. Let me remove him. Who wants to be the God? What is his name? Robot Man. Mr. Machine Man.
Machine Man. I'll take Machine Man.
Okay. That's
I'll grind up their fleshy bits.
okay. So that will be Shockwave. Let me play it. Okay. Save. And let me see what kind of character I can grab for our shadow guy here.
Anybody with a
Oh, I know. I've
somebody
got.
with a coat or something, with a trench coat.
Oh, here we go. Of course, now that I'm looking for something.
And all the red lines are showing zones. Is that
Yes.
okay? Cool.
So in Fate Core, essentially, unless there's an obstacle, you get to cross zone lines, at least one for free. So that's not a problem. And
So is that dinosaur there?
not really a dinosaur. But there are trophies and things. So this is my Batcave HeroClix map that I stole. As you
Oh,
can see.
nice.
Okay.
Dinosaurs? Where?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Oh.
let me and turn. And where is that? There's that. Okay. Let me shrink that down and turn and turn and turn and turn. And then we do this, and I'm almost set. Okay, so everybody should roll and add your athletics or your initiative.
Oh, we are starting combat already?
Well, I just want to do initiative so we have an actual turn order, so I can go through with you guys. I hope you don't mind if I do that.
Alright.
So
No,
what
that's
are we at? Athletics?
That plus your roll plus athletics.
Okay.
So that guy got a 4. Shockwave,
Is it 2?
2. Okay. Dr. X,
Sorry.
that's okay.
I think I just did it twice.
Oh, that's okay.
Nope, only one went.
Okay.
No, there it is. So I had 5 the first time, and -1 the second time.
Okay. Well, we'll take the 5. Phantom,
A 3.
3, and Johnny Speed,
Only a 2.
2.
That water made it a little slippery. I'm having trouble getting traction.
Henchmen are at, and the flame is at 1. Okay. All right. So you guys are definitely in that sort of surprise round here, where you guys have some options about what you want to do as you guys come up. And I am going to kind of do an initiative order so you guys can figure out how you want to approach things. So Doctor, just by sheer dint of things, you were the first one to kind of surface here in this cavernous base.
Okay.
And for your reference, let's add some scene aspects, shall we? So On the scene, we've got essentially echoing caverns, bad lighting, and open machinery.
Oh, good.
So those are the three scene aspects that are currently at play. As well, there's the one that Chris created earlier, pants down.
Caverns, bad lighting.
Open machinery and pants down.
Okay.
There's a free invoke on that one.
There are free invokes and all of those for you guys.
Yep.
Oh wow, cool.
And so it just as I kind of enter and I'm looking around, is
So
the crocodile is not there.
the crocodile is not there. Wherever there's things, you'll see there are various goods set up and tables and things. If you can see, there are actually kind of step ladders down. This area that you've come in, this sort of dock area with the water, is down a little bit. So you can. So it's actually out of the straight line of sight to the henchmen up there.
Okay. Well, I think I'm not. Instead of I'll leave the bursting in like a bull in a china shop to Johnny Speed. I'm going to ease up out of the water and make my way over to the tables to the right. I guess I can move my guy.
You can move. You can move. Yeah.
Yeah. So just come up here, look at what's on the tables, and then I can see over into this next room, or no?
Yeah, you can see. Kind of look up, and it's maybe about a 5-foot rise, so you can see the various people around in there. You can hear the noise. Some people are working on things. They're clearly got weapons, and they're preparing things. They are clearly not expecting anybody to attack.
Okay. And on the tables, anything?
That looks like more wetsuits and things like that.
Okay. I'm just going to make the, kind of coast is clear, come on up.
Okay.
Good
I'm
enough.
going to say, since you just moved into the adjacent zone, you didn't do anything difficult, I'm not going to make you make a stealth check.
Okay.
That guy.
Do I know if the minions here have the same type of clothing as the guy I killed and I'm disguised as now?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, they do go in for uniforms. So the various henchmen and stuff are definitely in that clothing.
I'll just walk in like there's nothing wrong and do some recon.
Okay. I'll say we can move you up a couple of zones that seem like up into here and kind of look around.
Okay.
You will see that their leader, the Flame, is over on the far end. The guy in gold on the far side is Midas, who's tied up.
How is he tied up?
It looks like he is secured with not exactly chains, but it looks like some sort of apparatus, metal bands and things like that to hold him to a chair.
Okay.
There are 2 other people in here who are more dangerous. One is the captain, who the guy that you took the memories of regards him with a certain amount of trepidation and fear. And then this other guy, Oculon, who actually can shoot eye beams.
Okay.
And the guy that you took the memories of, you remembers him actually blowing someone's head off.
So there's 3 superpowered people we know of.
Yes. Phantom.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna. So that guy walked. He's in disguise then.
He is in disguise. He disguised himself as one of the people from the ship, and he kind of goes in, takes off his suit, and walks on up to kind of look around.
All right. So I will turn invisible. Oh man. And these guys are pretty close, I would think. That henchman right at the doorway there, right in front of the table.
Like this guy here?
No, this guy here. Yeah, the second guy.
Okay. Yeah,
There you go.
you could easily make your way up next to him if you wanted to, invisibly.
Yeah. I hope to see if I can either take him out, like knock him out, or how close are these guys? Are these guys looking this way? Are they busy?
Right now, the henchmen are all involved in the various activities, working machinery, James Bond, base style, or carrying things around. They don't even pay attention to that guy when he goes in.
I can move. Ooh, I can only move one.
No, you can move on over. This is sort of an abstracted first turn.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna kind of invisibly move up to him and karate chop him on the neck, and see if I can take him down, or.
Okay, interesting. So you're going to kind of kick things off then?
Yeah.
I will if you won't.
No.
It's fine. That's fine.
Well,
Once it comes to me, I'm probably going to cause chaos.
All right, cool.
Okay,
So-
I'm going to let you make that fight check.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Essentially a check against a 0 since he is no active defense.
Okay.
So you will get up there to him and you will give him that chop across the back of the neck. He's completely unprepared and he will crumple to the table. So you do take him out, but it's probably a little noisier than you wanted it to be. If you rolled better, maybe it would have been. But he will drop, and people will look. They don't see you, but they see this guy kind of collapse.
Okay.
Johnny Speed.
Okay. Knowing everything's about to hit the fan, I'm wanting to create some. I think that's how it would work. Create an aspect or create a situational aspect for my team to use.
Okay.
What I'm thinking is, since there's a lot of spare parts, there's a lot of open machinery, me quickly go to some of those, grab bolts and just various small items and run around this place and spread them all over the floor, make it where it's
Nice.
harder for all the henchmen to. I'm trying to take out the henchmen quickly,
Okay.
so we can focus on the powered guys.
All right. Why don't you do that as an athletics?
Okay, athletics. All right. And okay, it's running that it would get the +6. It's not really moving. It says I get a +6 bonus to athletics rolls involving moving quickly. Is that
I'm
across
going to
walls and
say.
liquids?
No, I would say if you were being chased or you're trying to speed to get to someplace, but you're using that as an effect with this.
Okay, that's more like flat out running. Okay,
Right. Still pretty good. So what do you want to call that aspect?
Watch where you step.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you what, because your roll and because you're using your superpower with it, I'm going to give you guys 2 free invokes on that. Shockwave.
All right.
There's suddenly this blur, and that will kick everything up. This guy collapses, and then suddenly there's a blur of Johnny Speed running around and flinging out debris everywhere. You can move a couple of zones and take your action if you want.
Actually, I'm going to jump up here and zap this guy right here.
Okay. You mean
What?
your ally?
Oh, not that guy. Not
Okay.
that guy. This guy.
Not
That other
that
guy.
guy.
That
Literally,
other guy.
not that guy.
I didn't see him turn into another guy.
All
Sorry
right.
about that.
That's okay. Go ahead and so
That's gonna be shit.
this is still the surprise round, so just need to beat a 0 on this.
Okay, dice.
Oh yeah. So on the first round, Phantom drops this guy, and Shockwave, you come flying up, and crackle of lightning will fly across and take out this mook over there. Henchmen are disturbed. They blow the surprise round. They're suddenly things have suddenly changed. What the hell is going on? Don't know what's happening. Dr. X,
Okay, so
you are in position.
since things have now hit the brown whirly thing, I'm going to spring into action. So I'm going to leap up and take this guy out on the way. How I want to just take this guy out in passing and move 2 zones. Is that possible?
You'd have to make an athletics check because then there'd be an obstacle for your extra movement there.
Okay.
So we'll first do the attack roll, and if you
Okay.
succeed in the attack roll and take him out, then we'll make the athletics check for you to move on.
All right. So this will just be straight fighting.
And I will make his. So his check is okay. So 0.
Yep.
Sticking with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you will get up to him, and he's sort of pulling up his guns and distracted. You will land, but he kind of ducks behind the machinery there as you come up at him, and he'll turn surprised as suddenly you've come out of the shadows. He doesn't know what's going on. That guy.
I'll scream. Okay, the cat's out of the bag, so I'll scream, "Holy shit!" and shoot at the Dr. X's henchman.
Okay,
But I'll make it look like I'm shooting at Dr. X instead. Yeah,
that seems
Nice.
like,
reasonable. Make that shoot. I've got a 3 on my athletics on that one.
I don't have a shoot. Oh well, let's just see what the dice does.
Okay.
Or actually, can I use it to make one of those support? What you call those again? Can't remember what you call those.
Create an advantage.
The floating thing.
Like an aspect? We're going to create
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, essentially to distract the henchman, sure.
yeah.
So in that case, that will go against Will. So go ahead and make that deceive roll for me. Okay. So what do you want to call that?
Random fire.
Random fire.
Random spray.
Okay.
Yeah, or something like that.
Okay.
And then I'll make my way towards the Midas. Shooting in a panic. I'll run
Okay.
towards Midas or cover.
I'll let you move. I'll let you move 1 zone and do that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So sprays fire off. Fire's gone off. So there is another scene aspect random fire that I plan to use at some point. And the Phantom.
All right. So everybody's alerted, and it's bedlam.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my gun, and hey, I'm gonna shoot on the shoulder, non-vital areas, but go ahead for this guy here.
The closest mook. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I've got a -1 for my defense roll.
So let's see.
So advantage 2. So so you will take that mook out.
All right.
Hit him in the shoulder. He will drop down. Johnny's.
And- Yep.
Oh, you want to move? If you want to move his zone too.
Yeah. Let me start moving forward.
Okay.
Right there.
The gunfire will give out your position away a little bit there, but luckily there is enough chaos going on that that's not too big a problem. Johnny Speed.
Well, we got it. I have area effect, but no one at area attack, but no one's in the same area, more than one person.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
So, is it possible then to? Because my feeling is we got to take out these henchmen quickly before these Ackland and Captain enter the fray.
That's what I'm
or the
trying
flame.
to concentrate on. Yeah.
Is it possible for me to buzz around, get this guy and this guy in an attack, and use my aspect that I laid out? Imagine them being far away. It's going to be more difficult, but.
Well, let's look at your power description, how that works real quick, and we'll see. So you can do that. So what you can do is you're going to need to succeed with style on your fight check to be able to get that and split those damages. So you do get a +2 to your fight check because your speed.
Okay.
So go ahead and make that roll.
Can I go ahead and throw in that? Well, I guess I need to wait till see what I roll first before I throw in.
Yeah, you might roll, really well.
Yeah. Did I re-roll that?
So I'm at a 1, so that will succeed with style, but it won't be enough to take them out. Do you want to use an aspect to bump that up?
Would +2 be enough to push it over, or
It
I'm
would
going
be.
to get more than +2? Okay, then I'm going to use one of the free invokes for the watch
For
your foot.
watchers. Okay. So essentially, you will describe to me what that looks like.
Gonna run over to this guy, use some of the terrain that's a little bit hard to step on and stuff, and just basically throw him into the water here.
Okay.
Then run over to this guy and just slam him into this machinery.
Okay. That seems reasonable to me. You split that across there. We're going to move those guys off the board. I'm pulling them down here because reinforcements will be arriving eventually. But go ahead and move yourself into the zone where that last guy was.
Okay.
Shockwave.
In an attempt to draw aggro, Shockwave is going to jump on top of the table here and zap the captain.
Okay. So the captain, who has been alerted, so you need to hit a 3 to hit him right now.
Okay. Let me see what my base is here.
Oh my God!
Nice.
Oh,
Perfect timing.
Okay. So he does that.
Invocation zone on that, but I'd rather save those for when I really need them. So yeah. What's up?
So you will hit him, and he will stagger back. Should have electrocuted, and at least dropped a normal guy. He will stagger back, and his clothes, the sort of the heavy jacket that he's got on, smoldering, burnt off of him, but he is still up, and he will shake his head, and clearly he hasn't been hit like that before. But he is really tough. But so he will try to catch his breath there.
Then the electrokinesis power has inflict a condition, which lets me add an aspect to the target.
Okay, what do you want to...
So let's call it smoldering.
Okay.
In
All right.
I get a free invoke on that. Or somebody gets a free invoke on that.
Okay. All right. Their turn. So...
I think I've got his attention.
Yeah. He will come running up and we'll see him grab the end of the table and essentially rip the end of the table up to kind of pitch it at you, essentially to smash you with the end of it. So I'll go ahead and make his roll, because I always like to roll attack rolls in front of people.
Right, and we don't
So
have a
you're
break.
going to roll versus you're going to roll your athletics for the dodge then. Did that go off?
Oh, there.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, what's up with that? So he rips that up, kind of flings it at you, and you will get out of the way of that.
Standing in the teeth, though.
Oculon will move over here, and we'll see his one eye blaze up with energy, and he will let loose a beam of energy at you, Johnny Speed. What? The what? So, Johnny Speed, you need to roll your athletics versus my 2.
Trying to see if I got a bonus for defend. I don't think I do. Okay.
You could still roll really
Athletics.
badly.
Oh, what was that? Oh, that's what. Okay. Helps if I do the roll / throw.
Ah. Okay, you are out of the way on that as he lets loose with that.
See the after image of me.
Flame Guy will athletic roll and tumble over here and assumes kind of a defensive position. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He will hold off on shooting. Yeah, because he needs to do that. So he has to activate that ability. Henchmen! Yay! Wow, there aren't very many of them left. So we'll move over here. Move over here, and he'll take a shot. Henchman here will take a shot at Dr. X. Dr. X. So roll your athletics. God, what is up with my rolls?
That's one thing that Fate has taught me, is that when the GM's dice go cold, they kind of stay that way for a while.
So, Doctor, you'll dodge out of the way as that henchman shoots at you. Henchman at Johnny Speed. Oh, that's better.
Okay.
But not good enough.
Too fast.
And this is the ability that he invoked. So he summons more witless minions to his cause. That's the end of that round. Dr. X.
All right. I think it's time to pop claws and go into four-wheel drive. So I'm going to try to move a bunch of zones and attack.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to go after the captain, so that would actually be a 3-zone move. Now I get some bonuses to athletics to do that, to movement.
Okay.
So do I just roll?
Make your athletics roll, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Criminy. 3.
Is there anything you want to spend a point, or do you want to?
I will spend my last fate point. I am an erudite acrobat, so make that a 5.
Absolutely, that will get you over there, and I'll let you act.
Okay.
Get over there, land there. You got plenty of aspects available still on the scene. You guys, echoing caverns, bad lighting, open machinery, pants down. Still got one invoke, a watch where you step. There's random fire, and there's smoldering on the captain.
I'm going to use my athletics if this works to pick him up and throw him into open machinery. This looks like a nice open machine right here.
Okay. It would still be a fight check to do that, unless what you want to do is kind of put him in a position. Do you want to create an aspect on him?
Yeah, let's do that. To shove him into position so he can be toppled into the grinding gears or whatever that has.
All right. Go ahead and make that check then. Your athletics.
Yep.
Oh my God!
Now I get the
Oh my God!
Oh wow!
You could have just taken him out.
You grab the captain, and you will fling him over, and he will be caught in this open machinery. And we're going to say that he's smoldering. He's pinned. He's defenseless. And give me another good one there.
Freaking out.
Spindled.
Spindled.
He's absolutely caught in there. He has iron tough skin, and that is what's keeping him from being, jammed into this great, shredding machine that you flung him into. But he can't get himself out. He can't get the leverage at all to do that. That guy.
All right. How many moves? Do I have enough moves to get to the Midas?
Yeah.
Athletics?
Go one. Well, to get to him actually and do something, I would make you make an athletics check.
How much would I have to beat if I use athletics?
So to do, you're not doing a combat thing. So let's say.
I'm not doing a combat thing.
So 1, 2, 3. So I'd say you want a 3 or better.
3 or better. All right, I will do that.
Okay.
I will just run towards Midas and I'll shout, "The new watchmen are here! Help!"
Oh. Okay.
Building the brand, good.
Yes. Brand identity is important.
Building awareness.
All right.
So it's athletics +2. Oh snap!
So you will get over to him, but you won't be able to take an action.
Can I use the what you call those things? Again?
You can use one of the aspects, but it won't get you enough to be able to take an action.
Yeah, but I can use one of my own aspects and a fate point as well, right?
Oh, that's true. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll use my Spy Master and 1 fate point.
Okay.
Then I can take an action now, right?
Absolutely.
All right, I will try and pick at his bonds.
Okay.
The chains. If
that will be a crafting roll or a burglary roll.
I have burglary.
Excellent.
You're contractually obligated to the 3 placements. 3 name placements. All right, so this is a pretty sophisticated gear. Clearly, they've got some specialized stuff for holding them in, but it will give under your lockpicking skills, and it will release these bonds. He's kind of shaky and dazed, but you will get him out of there. Phantom.
All right. So what I'm going to try to do here is, can I try to walk through this machinery to this zone right here?
Yeah.
Using my burglary. I think I have to roll for it.
Mm-hmm.
Walk through walls, denser materials harder. And if I can, I'm going to try to create an aspect.
Okay. So make your burglary roll for passing through because it is kind of tough, difficult stuff.
All right. So let's see. Of course. So how much do I need?
If you bump that up by 2, you should be fine.
So I'm gonna go ahead and use. Oh. Invisible infiltrator.
It seems like the right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you bump that up, and what is the aspect you want to try and create then?
What pretty much what I want them to do is I'm not appear as a shadow there. So I want them to kind of look at me, distracted maybe.
Okay.
On Oculon.
Absolutely. Go ahead and let's see.
What would that be?
I would say either deceive or provoke.
Okay, let's try deceive then.
Okay. Oof. And I've got a -1 +1. So he has the deceive, essentially the distracted aspect on him.
Okay.
As he sees suddenly this shape, he's looking at the captain who's jammed his thing. You think maybe he was going to try and cut the captain out, but now his attention is drawn by this form that has emerged from behind him. He can't quite make it out. Johnny Speed.
I have some options here.
You do.
I'm going between running up at the machine and trying to pound on the captain, or going over to where
pinned, spindled, and defenseless.
I'll deal with the captain. That's fine.
Thinking? Okay. Well, I'm thinking I can try to take out these guys since but I don't know if they're necessarily going to be in much of a threat.
They will be firing off guns on their action.
Yeah, and they're finally actually kind of grouped together, just getting into the fray. Yeah, okay.
All right.
I'm running into there. I'm doing my area attack.
Okay. So you want to succeed with style on this.
Yes, I do.
They've got... Oh. Okay, so that would be that.
This is just a regular fight, or it'd be fight plus the speed.
Right.
No, that's not going to do.
You've got some certainly things you could use from the scene if you want to evoke something there.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to evoke the last of the second final evoke for the Watch Where You Step.
Okay. As a reroll or +2?
That's what, I'm going to chance it and do a reroll.
Okay.
Especially the +5. Oh, really? Okay. Can I spend a fate point and trigger an aspect?
Yeah, because it's from a different area. I'm going to let you do that.
Okay.
Okay. So move yourself over to that area, and just what does it look like to these guys when you come up on them?
Well, because I'm doing the now you see me aspect, I'm basically running and taking just a moment to stand in front of them so they can shoot. Pull out the gun, they know I'm there, then to stand in front of one of their guys, and then move when they shoot. Basically, trying to use them to take out themselves.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I like it.
So you kind of blur, and they will turn, and there's that where they fire off and drop each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see this poor guy coming down the corridor below you going, oh, God. Where the hell did he come from? Shockwave.
Shockwave is going to try to get the captain to quit wriggling.
Okay.
Because if he does get out of there, I'm not going to have... It's not going to be any fun for me.
All right, I am at... With the stuff, I'm at a 0 right now.
Okay.
Let's have you shoot.
I'll go ahead and invoke the defenseless on him.
Okay. So a 6.
So 6.
So, Doctor, you ran up, you flung this tough as nails guy up into this machinery, jammed him up there. See him get it? Starts pulling himself. He's pretty strong out, and you'll see Shockwave just let loose with the lightning into that. And this guy will shake, reaches a hand out towards you, and then collapses. Goes out.
Totally shocking, but that's what you get when you mess with the new Watchman.
That's number 2. Okay. He is completely out. All right. Let's see. So Oculon is distracted, so I will burn that. I'm actually going to burn that aspect. I'm going to give you a fate point, Phantom.
All right.
And he is going to try and take a shot at you.
So, do we remove the distracted?
Yeah, essentially he's going to burn the distracted with the fate point there, and he is going to try to take a shot at you. So
Right.
you're going to roll and add your athletics.
Here you go.
Ooh, that's a better roll than I've had. Oh! My
Okay.
better roll ends up, you take 1 stress.
All right, I'll take it.
Okay. The flame sees that guy freeing Midas. He will move to strike at you.
Oh.
That guy. Almighty. What was that?
Oh, that was pain.
So roll your athletics.
Athletics. Oh shit. All right.
Oh,
Oh,
what
okay.
the what? You guys are killing me. Absolutely killing me. So henchman on Johnny, but the essentially tried to fire off at you, and go ahead and if you would roll that, and the other henchman at Shockwave, who seems like the scariest guy in the room right now to him. What the what? You guys, these mooks fire off weapons. They're letting loose with blasts. This guy is gonna. Oh man, he will.
They're just gonna bring the ceiling down on him.
He'll move over here. Dr. X. Another shot at you. I got a 2.
Okay. Oh. Looks like I hit.
So that will be 3 points.
All right.
Unless
So
you want to invoke something, you do have some aspects that you could invoke against that.
I'll go ahead and take it. So that fills my 3rd stress box.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. So he hits you with the gunfire, shoots you in the back there. It's your action, Dr. X.
All right. Is this right here? Is that like a doorway going in here?
It's like a covered hallway. Essentially, it looks like it's intended to be like a clean room that you would
Okay.
pass through.
So there's a door.
Yeah.
Okay, not anymore. I'm going to rip that off on the way in.
Okay.
And but like there's a wall here and
Yeah.
here. Okay. Then I'm just going to try to move 2 zones into the middle.
Okay. Got a hold of that. It does look like the flame is essentially trying to hit that guy and missing. Midas has been freed from his restraints. There's just the henchmen around and kind of get that spot. You can see the various equipment. You get a general survey of the situation.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything skill wise to invoke an aspect or anything like that?
If I can, then I'm going to try to throw the door at the flame.
Okay. So we can do that as essentially an aspect creation there. That'll be your athletics for that.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. And he's got that. So, yeah, you will essentially throw that between him and that guy, and we'll say put like an unbalanced on him.
Sure.
As he'll kind of stagger back as this door comes flying out of nowhere. Phantom.
All right.
I think my turn has been skipped.
Oh, yeah.
Did I?
That's true.
Oh, sorry, I skipped you. Sorry, that guy.
I'm pretty much a non-combatant on account of how weak my fight is, and I'm not gonna beat the flame. So I'm just gonna roll with his punch and play dead.
Okay. Make a simple deceive roll. Oh, God.
What?
Wow.
Dude, is there any more floating aspects or anything?
Well, there is the unbalance from Dr. X having flung the door by you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So that guy will collapse to the ground after the door passes by and plays possum. We'll kind of put a little sleepy face on him. Okay. Phantom.
All right. Captain's out. Jeez. And this right here, that's kind of blocking sight to that.
Do I have to reroll, or is the
Yeah.
three enough for playing
Three is
possum?
enough. Three is enough.
That's kind of blocking that whole mess up there, right?
Yeah.
This area.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot Oculon.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Is that your final answer?
Oh,
Oh, gee.
yeah. Okay. Well. Okay, so you gave me a fate point. Can I use that fate point, or do I use that fate point in the next scene? How does that work?
Normally use it in the next scene.
Okay.
You do have some scene aspects if you can work them into your narrative.
I do have one fate point left, but I think I'll hold on to that.
Okay.
So that does.
The only thing we have left are bad lighting, echoing caverns, open machinery, random fire, and pants
Yeah.
down.
And are there any free invokes in any of those, or I
Oh,
have to use a fate?
they're scene aspects, so I always give them one free invoke.
Oh, okay. Echoing cavern. Watch where you.
Watch where you step has been used up.
That's used up. Okay.
Yeah.
Random fire. Random bullet just adds to the damage there.
Okay, so he has to eat 3. So
Right.
that will eat both his boxes on that.
All right.
Essentially, as you catch him in the shoulder there. He doesn't look like he's particularly physically tough, and he will stagger back from the shot. He is still up. Johnny.
Okay.
Just to give you a sense, we got about a 5-minute countdown here before we're going to wrap.
Ooh.
Okay.
So go big or go home.
Yeah.
We need to grab them and just go.
And you know what? I will spend a fate point to use to use that random fire.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is I'm gonna grab one of the bullets being shot, and I'm going to guide it, kind of get up to speed, and kind of push it to the flame so he gets shot.
All right.
Gun
Awesome. Make that roll for me.
That would
He's
be
got.
a fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
He also has the distracted aspect on him right now.
Okay. Let's see what the roll gives.
What?
Wow.
And I didn't add +2 or anything for the aspect, so I guess it'd be another +2.
So 9. So that'll eat most of his stress boxes there.
He said go big. I mean,
Boom! We'll kind of. There's that sonic blast as you would go across there, and you catch him in the chest, and he will stagger back from that shockwave.
Shockwave is going to blast this last mook that's right in front of him.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and add pants down, because I think we still have one on that.
Okay, absolutely. So that will go to. You gonna re-roll?
Actually,
Three with pants
let
down.
me do a
That'll be
reroll,
enough
'cause
to
I
take the mook out. So essentially, you'll let loose with a casual lightning bolt and knock him out.
and then start on my way into the thing.
Oculon will stagger back. He will take a shot at you, Phantom. He is on his last legs.
All right. Is that right?
oof.
Ooh.
Oh.
That.
man.
Okay. Hold on. I think I'm gonna have to use bad lightning. Has that been used yet?
It has not been used.
Use that. I
For
think
a
I'm gonna
reroll?
reroll. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sure. All right.
Mm.
What?
Awesome.
You guys are absolutely
Wow.
killing me.
Well, he has a boost on me though.
Oh my god. All right. And the flame, he took that, so that's his thing. So and he has a wound aspect on him, by the way, a consequence. So he has bleeding on him right now. He will take the flame. Will take a shot at Johnny Speed since the guy he was trying to hit is dead, quote unquote dead. Johnny. So you will dodge out of the way of that. This henchman decides better part of valor. This henchman moves over that way. Dr. X.
All right, I'm going to come up behind Oculon, grab the nearest heavy object, and like the large industrial waste barrel, and put it over her head. Just try to and stuff her in it in a rude way.
Make that roll. So you're tied. So I say since you get a boost, as you kind of lock Oculon down to keep Oculon from firing on this round. How does that sound? That guy, you were playing dead. You wish to continue to play dead? That guy.
Can I cope Midas to deal the finishing blow to the flame for me?
Oh, that's an interesting thing. Let me have you make a deceive roll. Let's have you make that just to kind of persuade him.
Alright. I will make it look like it's my dying breath, so it's like, I freed you! The least you can do is finish the job!
Is he free?
Yes.
Yeah, he's free.
He was freed by the attack roll earlier. So you will see, essentially, Johnny, you've run up, you've smashed into the flame, he's bleeding out. staggers back as that guy pushes Midas up. Dr. X kind of caps Oculon to keep him from doing anything. The henchmen are running, and you will see that guy kind of push Midas up, and Midas will lay both his hands on the flame, and you will hear this crackle, and you will see him raise up his arms as he transforms into gold, or at least the top like half-inch of his skin, and he will freeze as a statue there.
Go big or go home.
Yes.
Yep.
And you guys will break up Oriflamme, discover that this is the Watchman's wayward son who took over his father's empire and used his information to become a master criminal. And you guys will have taken out 2 of the legs of major crime within Science City. And that's where we're going to stop. We're going to wrap that there. You guys have made progress, certainly between this and your ability to then work on the DA and push him. You guys are significantly aware towards cleaning up Science City. Is that okay?
All right. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you
Great
for
game.
running.
Thank you very much. Guys, have a great VirtuaCon. Hope I can watch some of the games you guys are in other times, and I will talk with you later.
All right.
Thanks.
All
All right,
Thanks
take
so
care.
much.